almost 8 o'clock on the dot. So close, yet so far away. Almost 8 o'clock on the dot. Give everybody a minute. I've got my glue gun heating up. We're going to do crafts here in a minute, but I've got stuff to do first. Hi, Gypsy. Can you tell by my eyes how sick I still am? I wonder if I could braid these. I know Ashley's supposed to be popping in here in a minute, depending on subs only, so we don't get overcome by twat waffles. There we are, then. So I took a tumble today. Missed half my hair when I did that. Oh well. I took a tumble today, and when I fell, the radiator, we have one of those radiator heaters, it caught me. And I was carrying a step stool to do something, and my left leg just went, and that's the best sound effect I can make. Oh, somebody already got me. Gypsy, did you do that, or was that Ashley? I don't know why they won't give me the ability to do that from my phone. Not a clue. And I have searched through YouTube Studio to unblock Kim. I can't find a way to do it. So, yeah, I fell. It was the most ungraceful, loud. Pretty sure whoever heard it outside thought I died, because I was carrying my step stool around because I was doing some packing and some cleaning, and carried my step stool around. And just all of a sudden, my left leg went, and I went down. And I got my right leg up in front of me, but not before the stool hit the heater. And a leg of the stool went in my belly, and then my hand went into the radiator heater right there. So I've got a nice bruise starting. And I've got a big red spot in my side where the stool leg went into my belly. Ashley's here. I can't, like, legit, I can barely walk these days. And it's from the stress that's keeping my body screwed up. And so that's why I've made some hard decisions this week. But I've been packing, and then I got into the kitchen, and I went, because it's my craft hoard curio, and then all the craft stuff that's around here that I've been working on. If you all saw the dream catcher that I made for Scully, I've been doing a lot of crafting here, and I'm using a lot of things, and so it just looks like a bomb went off here in my kitchen corner. But you know, I'll get a box and take it with me, because I'm gonna have to continue crafting to stay sane. I'm gonna start talking to cows before too long. Just wait. I'm gonna be having like full conversations with cattle, and y'all gonna be like, she's lost her ever-loving mind. Probably. I'm about halfway there. But I'm gonna take some craft stuff with me to continue doing stuff. I did get a Temu package today, and from what all they said they sent me, this bag's awful small. But then again, Temu packs like none other. Can y'all come help me pack, Temu? I have a really small house. I just have a whole lot of stuff. Thank you. It's the one that came with the capri leggings on Temu for like $12. It's actually really nice. Really nice quality. I like it a lot. I've been finding a lot of stuff on Temu here lately that, especially the plus size like duo sets, that I really like. Okay. Of course, you know I don't have a trash bag. I am just as bad as Hey Everybody at that one, but we'll turn this bag into a trash bag when we get into it. My hand is sore. Oh, and I've got my stuff that I've got to mail out here too, so I've got to be careful when I pack, because I've got to get everything mailed. I'm trying to get stuff boxed tonight, the bigger stuff boxed, and then the EMF stuff is going to be coming probably in cards, because I was afraid to send it just in an envelope, because I'm afraid somebody will swipe it. So I was going to put it inside a card so that it'd feed through things without catching that EMF thing. Mostly because I don't trust the postal service either. I don't trust anybody right now. Okay, so a lot of this is going to be a sad Temu haul. I'm just going to prep you. It's a lot of stuff I bought for the yard. But I'm going to show you in case y'all want to buy them. So, normally every spring I hang ferns boy, you got smashed on your route here, didn't you? Bless your little heart. Normally I do ferns, but ferns have gotten expensive, and you have to give them Epsom salt baths when they get sick, and I just can't give that much care to something right now. So I've got these little sunflower balls, and you're supposed to be able to click them together, because this side has holes and this side's like male female plug. If I have to explain that to you, you're on the wrong channel. Okay, so let's see if I can get these put together. How much faith do I have in myself? Not a lot today. My coordination skills are really bad. I spent like 5 hours on the phone with insurance and other things, changing addresses, and pain in the buttocks. Here, I mean, I need a nap from all the time I spent on the phone talking to people. It just exhausted me. Well, they say they pop together really easily. They lied. Oh, good grief. Okay, so they have these little prongs here. These little, well, you can't see them. These little prongs right here. If you can see that little prong. And it goes into the hole of the other side. And anyway, it hooks together and makes this little sunflower ball. And I was going to hang that from where I would normally hang my ferns, and hang 2 of them there. Because I was like, I'm not buying ferns. I'm not spending the money on ferns. I've had really a lot of heck with ferns the last couple of years. And I thought, screw you, ferns. So I was like, I'm not going to buy anymore. But let's see. You would think I would have twine as much as I weave things, but I don't think I do. I have leather, but leather won't fit through that, and I'm not wasting leather on that. Darn it, man. But anyway, they hook together like this, and they make little sunflower balls, and you can hang them. And they're plastic, and they're UV resistant, and they're cute if you can get them stuck together. If you can get them stuck together. What I may do is, oh, zip ties. This is why Jesus gave us zip ties. Hang on. Zip ties. Hang on. Now I can barely walk today. I knew there was a reason that God made zip ties. Gave them for me, because I can't do anything with my hands no more. Okay. What I'm going to do is, it's got like a big passageway in the middle. I'm going to go through it here. You can see what I'm doing. Through it here. I'm going to go through it here. And then I'm going to pull it back around on the inside. Hang on to this end because we don't want it to fall back through. I've been watching Hell on Wheels. You know, just past time. You know, I'm getting so used to gunshots. I thought I was might as well just, you know, watch westerns and hear all the gunshots. So I've been watching Hell on Wheels, and that's a really good show. But you know, I like Ants and Mount and Hell on Wheels. But if I have to watch Ants and Mount and anything else, I can't stand them. Explain that to me. E6000 together. Good Lord. That would be hard to prop them. Anyway, that worked really good. Zip ties. God's answer to everything. Now, what I'll probably do is I'll cut this one off and they can hook another one and hang it from the hanger out there. Or I'll hang them from the pretty hangers I have so people don't have to see zip ties. But anyway, that worked pretty good. I have 3 of them. I won't make you go through the torture of watching me put all 3 together. Because this about got me. Anyway, I thought it looked pretty on the porch because I'm doing my porch and sunflowers this summer. Which, screw that. May take them to Mom's, I guess. I don't know. Oh, I got Mom a really pretty hummingbird feeder for Mother's Day. I'm going to give it to her early because I can't keep secrets. So, I need a trash bag. Your necessito. Okay. Anyway, here's the other one. Ow, my finger. Here's the third one. And, I mean, they're pretty, and they're UV resilient, so they won't peter out on you in one summer if you take good care of them. My porch only gets the evening sun, so if I hang them here, they'll be okay. If I hang them at Mom's, Mom gets sun all day long because that was built on a farm and they wanted the sun all day long. Farmers were smart. People that put this house here were stupid. So if I take them to Mom's, they'll probably another bag of lights. Who didn't expect that? If somebody out there needs to drink, I'm not telling you what to drink. I'm just saying you need to drink. Oh, I got another pair of nesting birds. Even though I took the other nesting birds off of Granny and Papa's grave so I can reuse them, I bought another pair just in case they were damaged because they were cute. And then I thought if the ones I got weren't damaged, then I could use them on something else. What in the heck is that? Did you ever buy anything and then go, what in the heck did I buy? I'm having that moment. Okay, we'll look at that in a minute because I don't remember that. But with the last few weeks, that doesn't surprise me. I like Hell on Wheels too. I can sleep through it now, though I've gotten so used to gunshots. Oh, I got leather. I got another color leather because I'm making I have a really good friend named Leanne. Hi, Leanne, if you're watching. She's one of my queen friends. And you remember I said I was going to find a way to use these with my weaving? Well, I'm going to turn these into eyeballs. Owl. It's going to be a huge owl dream catcher. So there's his eyeballs. Nose is going to go in the middle. And then I'm going to put buffalo beads for its eyes. And I'm going to make it a owl dream catcher. Anti-slip rug grips. Even though I've proven today I can fall even when the rugs have these under them. So wasted money. My talents. Another thing of lights. Take another drink. My talents at falling have really, really, like, I'm Olympic status now, so I can come during the morning tomorrow and help move stuff. Dad's flatbed is going to move stuff. When you got a dad that's got a farm truck, you milk it. I got lots of flowers because I'm crafting. Sanity comes in bags of flowers. Yay. I got a really pretty ribbon. Look at that. That is such a pretty color. I don't know what I'll use it on. I really struggle with the colors, but I think I did a good job on Skellies. But I really struggle with the colors because I had the color format in my brain, but my brain has like 50,000 tabs open at any time. So we changed ideas a few times. I don't know what that is. Must be closed. It's in a bag. Just don't touch my glue gun. Take another drink. These are actually those little strip lights that go in your house so you can see so you don't fall. Just take a moment, enjoy. I have 5,000 of these and I fell today, but technically it's another thing of light, so take another drink. Oh, this is a I swear I still have like leftover blank spaces in my brain from that mastoiditis. I'm still having trouble with it. Oh, this is a I got the word right in the tip of my spray pan. Self-tanner. Back rubber. That sounded really bad. There's really no nice way to say it. It's what you put the self-tanner on your back and your hind end with, okay? There's no nice way to say that. Really cheap for, I mean, they cost like 8 times the amount at Walmart. I mean, it's just going to rub my butt in my back. Who cares? It's going to put self-tanner. Who cares? I got a different kind of ribbon with leaves on it. I don't know if I'm going to like it yet. It's more of a plasticky rather than a cloth version. So we'll see. It's like an ivy trellis thing. We'll see. I don't know about it yet. We'll see what I'll use it on. I'm emptying the bag so I can use it as a trash bag. Yeah, I am a mess. I'm a total mess. Oh, look, I got more. I swear I only bought one of these. I love it when they put extra in the other day they noticed they sent me the wrong size of black screen door, those magnet screen doors you put on your house, and they sent me the correct one and apologized in the package. Have y'all ever had Temu send you the right thing after they sent you the wrong thing and apologize in the package? I did. Ooh, what did I get? Those are pretty. What is that? Hang on, we'll check it out. I don't remember. This was one that took like 3.5 weeks to get to me, and I knew I had the sunflower things, but everything else was kind of like a mystery. Who sings that? Building a mystery. Oh, that's Sarah McLachlan. Oh my God. Every time she sings in the arms of the angels, I want to save a dog. But I don't watch the commercials. You'll end up with 50 dogs. 2 bags. Temu, 2 bags. But you can't have plastic straws in California. Make it make sense. Did anybody see on the Sergeant report, Sergeant report on Odyssey the other night that Hope and Tavon was on, that like at about 9 minutes in, you can see my cult leader curtains. I'm going to forever call them that. My cult leader curtains in front of Sabrina, or behind Sabrina when she talked. They cut me out. Sergeant, excuse me, sir. It was my house and my curtains and my couch and my friend. You cut me out. Now, I know I ain't no freaking, wait, who is really pretty in Hollywood these days? I mean, I think all the new people in Hollywood are ugly. If I would be like one of the old women, like the old buxom women. Who was it that played in that Painless Potter movie that was the buxom lady, very strong but gorgeous? Oh, it'd come to me in a minute. Anyway, he cut me out of the dadgum video, and it was my house and my couch and my friend and my curtains. Somebody going, ringling his ding dong. Anyway, I figured since I was doing my porch and sunflowers, I might as well just join in. Mm-hmm. I'm sure I can plant sunflowers down under the mountain. So I'll still find a sunflower patch. It'll still happen. God, my hair is sticking in my mouth. Maybe I need to shut my mouth more often. Okay, let's see what this is. I got like 7 bags of stuff that I opened on my own and put away that you didn't see because I didn't have time and I didn't care. Sorry. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff, but I was just too far behind and did just... What's that song? No more F's to give, my F's have flown away. That's basically where I was. Talked to the big kahuna district attorney today because the little state prosecutor up here is being a little... He was acting like I was still a probation officer and he was still like a public defender and he could sass me any way he wanted to. Excuse me, no, I'm the lady that almost got killed that you're supposed to protect and take care of, and you haven't been doing your job. And I called him on it and he yelled at me. How well do you think that went? And I let him think he'd won for the moment. And then this morning I called the big kahuna district attorney and I was like, I need you to recuse this man because we used to work together and his demeanor is atrocious and he's not done his job. He's not given me a docket number. He's not told me of anything that's going to happen. He didn't tell me that when she was released from jail, nothing. Him, the victim impact coordinator, the sheriff's department, the jail, nobody. Only VineLink saved me. Thank you, VineLink. If y'all are ever a victim of crime, you can register. Even if you're not a victim, you can register to watch anybody that's in any prison across the nation. And if they move that body, they'll let you know. So thank you, VineLink. And he was like, what? See, now, I knew him before he was the DA. Nice guy. My husband knew him because he served child support warrants in the county where he worked in. And so when he found out about this, he was rather pissed. He about shorted his hands. And so I anticipate Tuesday. Wait. Yes, I anticipate Tuesday. I can talk. I anticipate Tuesday being a day of reckoning. I really am a nice person. But I've been shot at and almost killed, okay? Nerves frazzled, patience gone. My name is not Job. Don't expect it from me. So, yeah, little irritated there, bud. Okay, I've got something really cute to show you, but I've got to get the string tied on it first, okay? So, hang on. I take all my nails, all my rings off because my fingers were swelling. Where I took a header into the radiant heater. That was lovely. Y'all live in the UK where all you have is those radiant heaters. Y'all are real smart to put them at the edge of the room because if you run into them, they freaking hurt. It was not a pleasant experience. Now, no, do not grab the thread. I am trying to hang you up. Hang on. He's not cooperating. I have to secure the string. Hang on. This is more trouble than it's worth. They have raised these. Now, I got this little guy for $5, and I thought for $5, he will look really cute in a wreath or on a dream catcher or in something else that I creatively come up with in my head. You little fart head. Sorry, he moved. But then I've been watching them. Where are your feet? Where are your feet? Oh, I found his feet. Never mind. I found his feet. Sorry. It was Lieutenant Dan for a minute. Y'all, I've had a rough day. If you're sitting there going, she's not quite right, I'm not. The last week or two, I'm done. I'm so far beyond done. You have no idea how done I am. Now, how am I supposed to tie them little styrofoam? How am I supposed to get down in there to tie? Slip knots. Okay, stop. These are his little legs and his little feet, okay? Right now, he's Lieutenant Dan. But these go in here, and then they're the little bells, okay? They are now selling these for $9 a piece. Don't buy them for $9 a piece. They're very well painted. He's cute as a button. Don't buy them for $9 a piece. Hey, no, don't. Because you'll catch them for $5 at certain sellers and even below, like right around $5. Don't you dare give $8 or $9 for these. They're nice and they're ceramic, and they got styrofoam all over them. I mean, they're very well painted, but don't do it because they are ceramic and they're a pain in the biscuit eater to put the legs on. So don't give that much for these. So there's your Temu warning for the day. What we're going to do is, I can't get the freaking styrofoam off of me now. We're going to make a slip knot. And then we're going to hook it on the inside, and then I'm going to use my glue gun to affix it so that Lieutenant Dan never loses his legs. Because I have a feeling Lieutenant Dan will lose his legs. So, anybody like this? Did anybody see the Easter meme this year on Facebook? But Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no eggs. That's a classic. Did anybody else see that one? Classic. I love it every year. It never gets tired. That's one of my favorite Easter memes of all time. You've been painting. I've been painting too, but I painted yesterday and it made me mad, so I stopped. My nerves are a little bit, rattled. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can do this. I don't have much faith in my hands today, so Lieutenant Dan, cooperate. So there are little hooks down here. I don't know who was it, whose idea that was, but you stupid. Okay. Somebody send this video to Temu. Whoever made these little hooks down here, you stupid. Okay, and so I'm going to slip it through the slip knot. Don't you fall off that hook. Oh, that made it way too long. Why do they give me that much string? Lieutenant Dan, I don't think you're worth the trouble. Half your string. God gave me a glue gun for a reason. I'm going to use it. And I'm going to glue these strings together. And if they come unglued, I'm going to pitch a holy fit. I'm fixing to burn my fingers, so everybody get ready to take another drink. Okay, that's a little bit better. Anyway, he's supposed to have 2 legs. It looks like a tail right now. Or, don't go there. I want to keep my channel, okay? 2 little tiny watercolors. I'll show you what I did. I started this. Get off me. Now I've got glue on me. Oh. I started this. I painted this frame. And I've got a white fox that's going to go in here with pearls around the edging and a bow. Isn't that going to be pretty? That's going to be so pretty. And then I'm going to gold rub and buff it around the edge, I think. Because, you know, that'll bring the moon out more. But that's a white fox with her tail in the clouds. I love it. Thought it was very beautiful when I bought it. I buy a lot of things, and I'm like, I'm totally gonna do this. I'm totally gonna do this craft. I'm gonna do this. It doesn't get done. It's cute. I think it's gonna be pretty when I get it done, but I got 5,000 things I'm working on, and I don't know. I just can't stay focused. This is shorter than the other string. He's gonna have a lumpy leg. Temu. I uploaded a Temu thing with that boxing thing the other day. It told him it was a toy at best because I've already about broke it. And I ain't hit it that hard. I have not hit it that hard. I promise. How did I say I was going to do this? Oh, like this. And I left a review that it was a 6 out of 10 at best because it was a toy. And I mean, if you're a smaller person and you haven't grown up on a farm, I've still got a very muscular, even though I'm losing muscle, I'm still got a very muscular top end. Doesn't it sound good? But I'm losing my legs, but I thought that would help me kind of tone up my arms. And at the same time, kind of balance, you know, get my balance back with my legs. I mean, it's okay. It makes your heart rate go up and stuff, but I'm not tickled with it. Knocking my glue gun over. My glue his other leg. I'm fixing to burn myself again, so get ready. Ow! See? Now, here's the thing. Is that you have to then glue down over these hooks in the inside so that the strings won't come off the hooks on the inside. Temu, this is way too much work. You could have paid somebody 37 cents an hour to put his legs on there. He's got a wompy leg because one leg was longer than the other. I can't help it, okay? He needs magic shoes. It is what it is. He's done lost his top knot. Good Lord. I'm gluing this too because I don't want to fall off. Okay, so here's our little wonky. Are you shy? Okay, there's our little wonky fox. I mean, he's cute. And he'll look cute on something. I mean, his head is very cutely painted. Don't pay $9. I paid about $5. I think I paid $5.19. He's cute. Oh, Sabrina Ledma. Well, bless your heart. You may be disappointed this evening because I am just not having a good day. Thank you. I've had a rough time. My eyes still show how sick I am. I really am trying to heal, but my body is just, but I'll get myself in a place where I can calm down and heal here in a couple of days. So, but I'm trying to get some stuff done. But he's cute. Don't pay $9 for him. Y'all, you'll catch a vendor that's got him for $5.19. No. It's like paying $5 for a gallon of gas. Somebody's making an extra buck or two. We'll name you Hunter. You little sly fox. You're the reason gas is so high. I mean, he's cute, but I wouldn't pay $9. Now, $5, yes, because he is ceramic, but $9, no. And I gave him wonky legs because the strings are the wrong size, Temu. But that's okay because in my world, it makes him look oddly adorable. So I'm going to lay him to the side here because I will break him. Not meaning to, I will break him. So, y'all, my hair won't stop growing. Oh, I can disappoint you. I'm having one of them days. What is this? I bought this. I don't know what it is. Let me see if this rings a bell. Y'all, I am not a gold person. Why did I do that? Did I do it for a specific dream catcher I had in mind? I have no idea, but I bought like 2 yards of gold. Is it stainless steel? Stainless steel gold links. Okay. You know, who knows what thought I had at night. The other night, I was thinking about one of Jordan Peterson's lectures about where he talked about in the chimpanzee family, the women dictate mating and all. And how chimpanzees actually have sustained and held their place in the world and, you know, withstood the change in their ecosystem far better than humans. And I thought, but doesn't, in humanity, doesn't the women still have the choices like that as well? And then I started thinking, I thought, well, no, there's still arranged marriages in the world, and there's still places where women are not respected, and, you know, their voices are not allowed to be heard. And I thought, oh, Jesus, chimpanzees have passed us up. And that's the thought I had all night. Can you imagine that? And then that was just chimpanzees. That was not the bonobos that are very much more smart than chimpanzees. These are the thoughts I have at night when I don't sleep. Mostly because meth heads are shooting at me. I can't wait to go to court. I can't wait to go to court and tell the defense what happens to a brain at the age of 61 that has had multi-year meth use and other polysubstance abuse issues. So, gosh, I wish I could tape it for you, but I won't be allowed to. But it's going to be a doozy. Because I'm a turd. I'm the mule that, like if you smack, 10 years later when you're harnessing me and not paying attention, I will pop you. Because I remember. I'm that mule. Okay. Tip, if you order these, which are, I hate the sticker they send on them, you're going to have to get some orange oil or some Gooby Gone. That sounded so weird when I said it, but that's the only way to get these stickers off because they are mother freaking stuck. Make sure you take off your little top peel. And here's a tip. If these start getting dull or they start looking white, get some just polyacrylic clear spray, coat them, and they'll last for another year or two. You're welcome. I just saved you like $20 a year if you like solar lights like me. I am a solar light whore. I self-professed. I will go ahead and tell you, I will buy every solar light I can find, and I'll put them in my yard. Okay, these you have to, oh, they put the sticker right where you have to pop it apart. Me and Temu ain't getting along too good right now. That tech haul I did, I mean, it was okay. There were some good products in there, but they're offering less and less good options for people that just do reviews. And Temu Circle has now gone down to only 2 gifts a month. And they're like the $1.98 gifts. So I had me a little conversation with customer service the other day. And I told them they were doing exactly what I thought Chinese people would do. Which was start really good and then enact a war to get our money. They gave me $15 to shut up. Sometimes a big mouth's a good thing. Ain't it a crapshoot? Like when you know that too much is in your world is going wrong and your body's flustered and frustrated and you can feel it. Like I have deformed ears. That sounded really bad. They're not made correctly. I have extra bone and extra bone marrow. And I can tell. I can hear the low tones. Like when I take my Rife treatments, my mother and father have a Rife machine. Oh, by the way, they uploaded Rife frequencies to YouTube. It's on a channel called Rife Force. They're not as potent as from a Rife machine, but you can leave them looping all day long. And as long as you can hear it, it works. And it's weak enough you can leave it looping all day long. And, you know, it's not going to be like going to a Rife machine, but it's not going to hurt. You know, it's going to help. So you have to turn these on. You have to open the top and push a little switch and turn them on. I didn't know that. And so I put out a whole bunch, and then I had to go out in the night click all the little things to make them glow. But they put out a very pretty pattern because they have a little crystallized, it's kind of like flower pattern, and it goes to about 2 foot around them. And I thought they were cute. Mama will like them, so. Oh, look. I put it over there and it turned on because it's so dark in the corner. But these are really good. They're sturdy, and if you take them up during the winter, they will last. Where am I from? Originally or currently? Oh, you're good. Because I was going to say originally my mother's womb. Currently. Currently, I'm from the Cumberland Plateau in Tennessee. So when you get these, don't forget to flip the switch, because then you'll feel like an idiot like me and stumbling around in your yard on polio crutches, turning on all your solar lights at night because you're an idiot. I'm smart. Oh, and pull the little things off. And then literally polyacrylic spray those when they start to, just when they start to dull, not before, just when they start to turn white, polyacrylic spray those, just clear spray paint, and they'll hold for another year or two. They're glowing over there because it's dark in the corner. My house is dark in the corners. I answered your question. Both of them. And you left me. Ooh. This is the water pump for my pool. Well, we just put that back in the box and sell it at yard sale. Oh, well. Oh. I might buy a new one. They don't really have a flat place to put one, though. And I don't want to be in the middle of the cow pasture, because then the cows will rub on the pool and knock it down. So that won't work. So don't know what I'm going to do there. I'm trying to get my trash thrown away. Okay, let's figure out what these things are. I don't remember. I don't remember buying these. I normally, remember very clearly what I buy, but I don't remember buying these. I can't even get it into it because my fingers ain't working tonight. Okay. Okay, what are you? It's a slinky. I bought this for some specific purpose. It eludes me at the moment. It's like a slinky. I mean, it's not really a slinky. It's like jewelry wire, but it's like a slinky. Ooh, look, you can play the accordion. I bought it for some, it was probably jewelry wire. I think it's actually copper coated jewelry wire. There's my tinfoil hat. But I don't remember. Oh my God, we got a problem. Houston. Ow. I don't remember buying. I think it may have been copper coated jewelry wire that I was going to use to do like some shell bead drops and stuff off of dream catchers. That's about the only thing that comes to mind. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I don't remember. Oh, Gypsy, that swimsuit came in that me and you saw and fussed over and ordered. Now I've got to catch up. See, that rough really does hurt. I use the, David uses the lime, but I use the lymph drainage one. The lymph system one is really good. Hey, Mary, I'm just catching up because a bunch of stuff was moved. Moderator turned on, subscribers only. That's. I guess that 10 minutes was long enough. Yes, it was. Yes. Okay, these are like a flower line. That's not a good way to explain it. Like a flower garland. Use your words. I'm not even lying. That smells like Tinks, dough, and estrus. We're going to hang them outside tonight on the porch. Ooh. Oh, it's not a garland. It's a stick. But I take them apart and put them on things. They smell really bad, so we're just going to throw them over there for a minute. Another thing of those lights that you stick through your house that come on so you can find your way without falling, though I tend to find my way to fall anyway. I will say that if you have a toddler that is scared of the night, buy one of these and put them under their bed. They're LED, they never get hot, and you can leave them on all night, and then they have an underlit bed, and they have just the ambient light, which is not going to screw up with their sleep rhythm. And I have them that are motion sensor activated. I can talk. And when I get up, they stay on until I get back. So I like these. This is the mystery bag. Let's see what's in here. I have not a clue. And then I will show you what I've been working on, although I buried it. That's okay. I can pull it back out. God, I don't know what adhesive they use. But if we could use it on the doors of Congress for about 30 days, America would be in a much better place. Because there ain't nothing unsticking. Oh, it's more of those sticky. So I got sunflower rugs to put on the porch, but I need them to stick. Because we have like 40-mile-per-hour winds here a lot. And I get tired of having to stick everything under the legs and make marks in my rugs. So I got these so I can stick them to the rug and stick them to the porch. And surely to goodness, with 2 rugs with this many, ain't nothing gonna take flight. If it does, my neighbor owns it. Crosses the fence, fair game. So I now have 2 packs of the Velcro things for rugs, inside and outside. Okay. Okie dokie. Let me show you what I've been working on. I've just got these placed. I don't have them resined in or perfectly put where they are supposed to be. And I'm missing the bones. That sounded really bad. But I got glue all over this one. I'm so sorry. You'll have to overlook my glue. But I'm doing little driftwood, and it's going to have a jawbone, like a raccoon jawbone or something in there, or just maybe some teeth. I don't know. I'm a weirdo. And it's got a little faux succulent with little rocks and a little blue butterfly. Ain't he pretty? And his little egg just sits on the counter, looks pretty. People like these out here, so it's what I make. But a lot of people really like these. I think they're cute. I myself am terrified I'm always going to break them before I get them anywhere to be sold. So I'm like, but because I only go like to 2 places. So I'm terrified that I have them in my house that long. These I think are cuter. Now this was probably the one. This has got Amazonite. It's like a little Amazonite tree behind it on a little felt turquoise rose with lamb's ear behind it. And I'm going to rearrange it, and moss. I've got reindeer moss there. I'm going to rearrange it when I set it up so that the Amazonite shows better because it's hiding back there behind everything. But I've only kind of put things in what I want them in, and then I'm like, I'll fix it all later. So this is a piece of driftwood. I've got to put a tiny butterfly. Let me show you my little tiny butterflies. Oh God, where'd they go? I mean, they are adorable. I gotta find them. Oh, and some people always want faux options, so I got faux teeth. Oh, good buddy. Oh, I got little baby hairbrushes to wood burn for the twins. Hang on, I'll find them in a minute. I swear I will. Well, probably. Oh, found them. Look at these little tiny butterflies. Look at them. They're all so pretty. They're all different colors, so they're all upside down. But I'm going to put this. I'm going to put a little one on here. And he's got Lupis, what do they call it? Lupis Lennis, whatever. It's, you know what I'm talking about. The blue. Isn't that cute? Yeah, I think the hairbrushes are going to be cute. I've got to wait for a day that my hands are not shaking to wood burn them because... Whew. I've got 50,000 bags of moss around here too. The moss is beginning to irritate me. This one's really cute because I put the amethyst, the pink quartz, and the. My brain and my mouth are connected. I do swear. I put the Amazonite. I'll start again, Elizabeth. I put the amethyst, the pink quartz, and the regular quartz in the same one, and I'm gonna put some like coyote teeth in there, and then one of the little butterflies. But I've got to resin and glue, and then make them look prettier because I want them to look prettier when I get done with them. So I don't have anything affixed yet, as you can see. This one's cute because it's got citrine in it, and it's got the prettiest driftwood. I guess hold it up where you can see it might help. It's got the prettiest driftwood. It's got citrine in it on copper, which is nice. And it's got the prettiest driftwood. I think I'm going to put 2 butterflies on that one. One yellow and then one purple. Maybe one yellow, one green. If you hear something, it's my dryer. It's probably ammunition. I might ought to go check, but I don't really feel like it. But I think this one's going to be the prettiest one because it's going to have 2 butterflies on the top. So, and these are like little, just like fairy jars, like they call them. I think they call them wishing jars or something. I don't know. I just thought they were cute. So I thought, ooh, I can turn those into something. So, oh, and this is the whoop, 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 whoop. Hello, there you go. This is the pearls that I'm going to put inside that fox picture. And then I'm going to put a bow. I dropped something. Oh, it's just a wood bead that came off of something I don't need. Okay, so this is what I've been working on today. Because I feel like I need wisdom. Every day is that day for me. Gosh, I've got so much junk on my table. Okay, so this is what I've started today. You know, I told you I'd find a way to use those little doily things that they sent me. Okay, so I've got them together. And then he's going to have a body, but he's going to have just big feather dangles of the big real feathers that I've got. I mean, these are real, but they're just tiny. He's going to have a nose here, and then he's going to have feathers going over his eyes, and he's going to be a big owl. And he's going to be adorable. I'm already halfway in love with this thing. And I kind of like, I don't want to give him up. But these are going to be what his body's made of, these big feathers right here. And, well, they're going to be 3 or 4 kinds. But I've got to have little ones, and then I've got to have the big suckers for the sides where it needs to be long. So I've got my Fowl Farm raven black ones, and then I'm going to mix them all through with these. And he's going to look like an owl. And I'll save the little fuzzy ones for his eyebrows. But he's going to be beautimous. And I've already named him Artichoke. So I don't know why I named him Artichoke, but that's what came to me when I was working on him. So, but like you can see when I cut the ends off the feathers, here's his little face. His little nose will go down to here. It will cover. It'll be a piece of carved wood, and then these will be his little eyebrows. He'll have a few of those, and then his nose, and then his body will be all feathers that hang. A lady saw one and she was like, "Can you make one of these?" And I was like, "I think I can." So that's what I'm gonna do. I thought the eyeballs was the perfect thing to use the small things that I got the other day with the doilies. Then the rest of them will be all made by me. So I have got my fowl feather box behind me, and so I'm going to be working on him, and that's why I've got my giant spool of leather and my glue gun out, because I have to do 50,000. Oh, and I've got my beads on here too. I have to do 50,000 feather drops for this guy. So, and I'm thinking about maybe putting some of this in with them. I don't know. We'll see when I get to where I'm going if I think he needs that or not. But this was something that I won on Temu, and they're little turquoise turtles, and I put some of these on Scully's Dreamcatcher. But then I also put her a clear quartz and a bunch of turquoise, and I put something else on it too, and I can't remember. I put so much stuff on that. And I didn't want to like gom it up because I wanted it to look pretty and feminine and delicate and all the things that she kind of told me. La Peace, thank you. My brain is like, I need like spark plugs filed off or something. It ain't firing right tonight. But I did fall earlier. My body's like in half flare, so My ear's hurting again too, so I've got to go to the doctor Wednesday. It's like, hello, can I get better? I'm trying. Like, I'm sleeping with I've got a huge, from Sabrina, a huge pink quartz, rose quartz. And I've got a Dalmatian. He's a rose quartz skull and a Dalmatian skull. And I've got 2 of those little obsidian. I've got so much labradorite. I've got, not lying, a 400 chunk piece of selenite in my living room that I put my feet on every evening to try to feel better. And while my health has increased substantially in the last few years, well, since I've known Sabrina, and started distrusting doctors more because they were actually mad when I got better. That's like a banker being mad when you make him money. Like a pig being mad when you give him slop. I mean, let's just take it to simple terms. I started getting better because I started not trusting the doctors. And I started realizing that they really wanted consumers rather than people healed. And I knew that there was no real, there is for MS. There's infusion treatments for MS that work, but nothing works for this disorder that I have, this reflex sympathetic dystrophy, because my nerve bundle was damaged when that boy attacked me with that axe. Long story. Don't want to hear it now. Oh, and this is my Cody tooth pendant. I've had it around my neck for the last week. I don't know why, but it makes me feel better, so I've been wearing it. But there's nothing to help this. Like, it's my central nervous system and my I can't talk today. As you can tell, I'm in half flare. Anyway, all of my nervous systems are diseased. And so the signals don't get right to the right places. Normally, if they're doing good, I'm the micro machines man and can talk super fast. I'm having a rough week. A lot of it's stress. A lot of it's where I've still got pressure on my brain from the mastoiditis. Although my eyes are getting better. They were black a couple weeks ago. So, doing better there. And I had 4 good nights of sleep, and then they let her loose, and I've not slept good since. So, and it's just because I don't feel safe. So, hard decisions had to be made. Well, I will say that when I do fall asleep now, I sleep deeper like I've dreamed, and I don't normally dream. I normally do the mom sleep where you sleep so light and you wait for anything to pop. And since I've got those pendants and the sleeping pods, I have noticed that when I do fall asleep, I've been dreaming, which normally I don't ever do because it takes me forever to fall asleep. And then by the time I get to a REM cycle, it's morning. So I don't ever really get to do a deep sleep. And I have noticed that I've gotten deep sleep. The first day that I had the pod and the pendants, I put 2 pendants on because I'm a big heifer and I thought 2 might work. I put 2 pendants on and put the sleep pod above my head, and I literally slept the whole day. But now with her being released from jail, I have not slept as well. But when I do fall asleep, I am sleeping deeper. But I think I'm taking those with me. I'm leaving David a sleep pod. I'm not a complete meanie. He's got a phone thingy and a sleep pod. And I had enough left over that I've got a pendant and a phone thing for Kim. But I'm going to take my other stuff with me down to Mom and Dad's on the farm. And literally that is like a hole in a valley in the end of the road. Ain't nowhere else to go when you get to the farm. You run into the river gorge. Ain't nobody coming that way. So you're in a safe little hidey hole. And I'm thinking when I get down there, I'm probably going to sleep really doggone good. So I think that's going to probably be a big help. And my father and mother are interested in seeing how they are affected by it as well. Of course, my mom and dad are the ones that have the Rife machine, so they're very open to all of this. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to some sleep, but I'm not looking forward to the circumstances that I'm having to get the sleep because I don't know where this is going to put me and David. And that's scary because we've been married for 21 years. and he's choosing to not leave the house because he's afraid that they'll burn our house down if we leave. But that means that he's not with me, which is nothing we've ever done before. We've always been together. And so I'm really irritated that he chose the house. And I have to choose me because I know my health right now is not where it needs to be. And I have to choose me or I'm not going to make it. And so we're not having the best talking times right now. So this one meth head has shattered my life. Isn't that cute? Look at that. It swivels. And I hope to repay the favor when I take her to court. So, am I mean? No. Just justified in my revenge. But this has been going on for a while. It's just the last 2 months. I know that about 3 months ago, a felon got arrested at her house. And I think she thought I had something to do with that. I didn't. I was literally just trying not to die during that time because I stay so sick. But I think she thought I had something to do with it. So I think she thought, well, I'm going to take that B out. Well, I still do have all my law enforcement training, but I couldn't get the cops out here, and I didn't want to shoot back. I don't want to shoot across somebody's property line. I don't want to shoot unless you're on my property and coming after me. I don't want to shoot people. You don't ever want to raise a gun to anybody. That's your last thing you ever want to do, buddy. That puts you in a place mentally you don't want to be. I've seen officers that have had to kill. It screws you up. So that's why I fenced my property. Fences make good neighbors most of the time, unless they take meth. Look at this. Whoop, it spins it around. Isn't that cute? So I was counting rounds because I knew she had a long barrel 22. And I know how many bullets go in Eclipse, so I was counting rounds. And when she emptied and I knew she had to take her clip out and reload, I ran to put the phone. That's how I missed the first few shots. And then I say run. I didn't run. I walked like a penguin and put it out and walked like a penguin back in the house. And by the 7th shot, I think David pulled in the driveway and was like, what the heck is going on? And I had called dispatch and they would not come out. I'd been calling dispatch probably over 20 times and they had not come out for like the past 3 months. They said it was all in my mind. So I just live streamed the mother on YouTube. And I said, you're on candid camera. Either you're going to do your job or I'm going to sue you blind. And y'all can hear how I talked. I know I stepped in the mudroom a little bit and you just couldn't hear her, but I talked to that dispatch guy pretty rough. And I told him if she crosses my fence line, I'm going to put her down. I don't want to. I've been trying and begging to get y'all to fix this. But y'all ain't fixing it. Y'all won't even come out. I've asked for well checks. You won't even engage and knock on the door to physically see her. When you request a well check, they're supposed to physically see her and assess her mental and physical and emotional well-being. They didn't even knock on the door. They said that they'd engaged several times. They would just drive by. Well, we didn't hear anything. Well, no, at 35 miles an hour, I guess you wouldn't, you big dumb butt. And y'all heard me say when I started the recording, we're going to see if we can get the sackless policing after one testicle policing tonight. I hate to see men in positions of authority be absolute pussies. I hate it. I hate it because I drag a sack bigger than most men. We'll just say that right now. So it irritated me to have the cops, retired law enforcement here, to have the cops treat me in such a manner. So y'all heard me tell that dispatcher straight up what was going to happen if they didn't get somebody out here now. Because she was at that point shooting over the fence straight over my head, over my back porch. And they're like, well, we could say it's attempted murder if we could find a bullet hole somewhere. It's not my problem she's a bad shot. Her intent and motive was the same. I was just like, you are morons. So, well, I'm retired parole officer. So sadly, it put me back in parole officer brain. But that's very taxing on a body that's broken now. And so I can't do it. And my body cannot react as quickly anymore. So had she really got a crack on my head, I probably wouldn't have been able to have got out of the way. Good, I'm pretty good at knowing where the muzzle blast is and kind of knowing which way it's going. But they found her hiding in the woods in sniper pose, trying to pick me off. And then she tried to hide the gun when they got the light on her, but they didn't charge her with tampering with evidence. And then they said, well, her whole house was shot up full of holes, but they didn't hold her for a psych eval. Are we really doing our job, guys? Are we? Are we just saying, oh, we'll do the bare minimum and we'll put people in really horrible positions, and then we'll get a front page newspaper, section when we take down somebody that's been absolutely terrorized for a year, and we put them in a bad position to make a bad decision, but we're gonna milk that and say we saved these other people. And I was just like, oh, suck my big toe. And then they wanted to apologize when they actually found her. It took 5 people to arrest her. Hello? Me, lonely me, went into murderers' homes all by myself. And they came back over and they were like, gee, Elizabeth, we're sorry. No. You failed me. Go home tonight knowing you failed me. And that means you probably fail a lot of people on a daily. Don't ever apologize to me. Just accept that you failed me and go home. Boy, they hate me. I don't care. It's mutual. So I'm not getting the best treatment because they know I know the law and they know I'm zinging them when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So that makes them more mad at me. But I thought, my old judge that I normally could call and say, hey, we got an issue, he retired a couple of years ago. So there's a new judge on the bench. I don't know him. I really honestly don't care to know him, but now I'm going to have to meet him. So I just called the big kahuna DA this morning and said, I'm not going to be treated like this. And I've been shot at for months that everybody said, you're lying. So I put it on YouTube for God, Jesus, and everybody to see. I ain't got nothing to hide. And that's the only time they took action, because I caught him. It's the Hug-a-Thug program. Well, I called it that when I worked there. It was the Hug-a-Thug program. I mean, I wanted to see people do well. And if I had somebody that genuinely wanted to change their life and wanted to work, then, buddy, I'd hitch right up to you and we'd pull the plow together. I'd help you. But if you were a demon monster dopehead, I'd send you right back to jail. Most people were more comfortable in jail because they made more money in jail. We're not even going to talk about that. There are families that live better when their husbands or significant others are incarcerated. That's a whole nother talk for a whole nother night. But yeah, I was a little pissed, and I'm still a little pissed. And I'm pissed that I'm sitting here knowing that, well, her daughter's been going, you know who you are. This is just starting PS. You know who you are. Bitch, don't blame your mother's addiction on me. And don't talk hateful to me, because I'm going to screenshot it and also show it to the district attorney. Because I didn't do shit to your mama, but she shot at me for 8 months. I thought I was pretty daggum chill about it until it started to be a 400 round a week issue. Now, how you getting 400 round a week? You're either prostituting yourself or you're selling dope. I can't afford a 400 round of ammunition a week. My husband's a trapper, and we don't waste but one shot on everything he catches because that's money. How's you get 400 round of ammunition a week? Full Metal Jacket. We love you long time. So, I mean, but they had arrested 2 felons out there in the last year, one in the last 3 months. She has a habit of dating felons. She has a habit of having 4 or 5 or 6 other people in her home. She's just not good, people. And while I would say if she was 35 or 40, hey, let's get her some treatment. Let's try to work on this. But she's 61. And neurosynaptically and with the microglial in her brain, she has depleted any kind of neurons or neurosynaptic roadways that she developed between the ages of 25 and 40. They're gone. You go for a Sunday drive in her brain, it's 5 minutes, and yep, you're gonna turn around, come back, the road ended. So I don't think rehab is an option for her. I mean, I would like to think everybody, but neurologically, it's just not. I don't think it's possible at this point because she's burned herself out. And I did a whole front porch chat on this the other day. You can go back and watch it if you want to. But meth is something that's just like huffing. You kill brain cells every time you consume it. Did anybody else know that when you huff, It is so toxic. It kills brain cells. Meth does the same things. It kills your brain cells. So the more you use, the less you have, and the less you lose your frontal lobe first. Then you lose back through here. Then you lose your empathy circuits and all. And then you really start to screw up your amygdala. And then we're going back here to brainstem function, which is why you have the paranoia and the anxiety and stuff like that. And it was classic meth. Classic. I'm just wondering if they even drug screened her. If they don't, I'm gonna say hair follicle test. I request. I'll pay for it. I will by God pay for it. May take me 10 years to finance it, but I'll pay for it because I want to prove how dangerous she was. And what ticked me off when I would call, I would say, guys, there are, as a house of 4 kids right across the other way from her, which is much closer than me, down the road behind me in the creek is a woman that's pregnant, and across the road was a little old lady whose husband had died 3 months ago. And that's when the shooting amped up. They found her dead 2 mornings ago. The coroner picked her up. I can only imagine what that poor little woman who had had her husband there with her for 50-something years had to deal with in the last few months of her life, listening to 400 shots a week, literally 60 foot from her home. Yes, I get irritated. I think of everybody else in the scenarios. I try to always have 4 perspectives. And when all 4 perspectives say F you, that's a route I take. Hang on, Sabrina, I got to go back and read. I wish they didn't coddle junkies. Okay, I missed whatever when you said internal making license plates, or I don't know. Oh no, how they make money in jail? Oh no, they facilitate disbursement of certain substances. They make new friends, and normally the kingpins and the top 3 distributors, there's one that stays in jail all the time. They normally go get a bad charge, so they're in all the time. And then they keep at least 3 men that are in and out at all times too. Most of them have about 5, to be quite honest. And if you're in a rural area, you've only got 1 or 2 prisons or jails, so they keep normally a group that works like that in each jail. Every time they come in, they take one of the low-level felony guys. That's why I say don't send a good kid to bad kid camp, because your good kid will come back with bad kid tendencies. They just learn really bad tricks. You send a low-level offender to a medium or maximum prison because you run out of space. Well, they're going to absorb that child, say, well, we give you protection, but when you get out in 7 months, when you flatten your time, then you're going to work for us for 6 months, but we'll keep you safe for 7 months, but you go us 6 months of work. And what do? They go out and they sell. Where does the money go? Back to commissary and stuff like that. So a lot of these people live really good in jail, and then the rest of the money goes to the family. They live top tier. I've had people beg me to do warrants they could go back to jail because they could function better. And I said, well, now I'll never do one. We're just going to hit you to the plow, make you work. They hated me. But it was you have to try to find the little spark of humanity that's left in each one of them and dig it out. And when you've got a 23 to a 35-year-old younger person that has lost 2 or 3 years of their life to jail, they normally want to dig that out. But when you've got somebody that has spent 6 or more years, sometimes 23, I had a guy that served 23 and come out, they're institutionalized, where the comfort is that tiny cell, that little structure, the toothpaste, the toothbrush, the shave, whatever they're allowed to have lined up, They go home and they still hang a towel over their bathroom door, even though they've got a door to shut on their bathroom. They still hang a towel when they crack a crap because they're used to hanging a towel to take a crap. If I ever go into homes and I'd see that, I'd be like, okay, we're getting you counseling because you're institutionalized. We got to work on this. You're not in a cell. You don't have to hang a towel to take a crap. You can shut the door and turn on the fan. It was just things you see, but the big wigs will stay in. Because there are families, they've committed a crime where they're stuck in anyway. So they're sitting there thinking, what can I do to help my family? So they create these little mafia-like groups, and they take the young kids that come in, and they say, we'll protect you, but you're going to go out and do work for us. Well, then you get one of those young kids on probation. You're like, oh, you're young, you're coming out, we're going to be successful. No, because if they don't do right, then they've got one or two people on the outs that have probably never had a charge that will find this young man and beat the crap out of him. Do you know how many of mine that have come out that wanted to go straight, that were found in alleyways almost beat to death? And I'd be like, what happened? I told him I didn't want to sell. I changed my mind. I said, buddy, you don't get to change your mind. I said, how about we just do another warrant and let you flatten your time and you come out, obligated to no one. And I was like, I'll make sure you don't go back to the same prison. But that's what they do. They run huge organizations. And most of the CEOs know it. Some of them are in on it. Some of them take a cut to help things along. It was disgusting. Some of the things I saw was disgusting. And you just want society to be safe. And for people that are supposed to be good people to do good jobs, and for bad people to go a place to be where they can be either, rehabbed, or classified as not conducive to society. And what we have is we monetized all of this, and the moment you put money into anything, it goes to shit. If it's important and you monetize it, you done screwed it all up. It's not worth anything anymore. So that's what most prisons are. Thing is that a lot of people didn't know about a lot of these behaviors until they started watching glorified movies. And a lot of it, this is what I wanted to do, was go in, because I have my master's in psychology. I wanted to go into forensic psychology and reassess the assessment program for prisons so that we didn't put low level with medium or max. And we watched general population, and we didn't put young kids in places for old men to manipulate them. And it would have set up prisons in a different way, so we could have kept the brains from getting mixed. Because I used to work in wilderness boot camps, and there would be good kids come to these camps and leave little pieces of turds. And I'd be like, he was a good kid when we got him, but he got to spend 8 months with an absolute juvenile offender. And sorry, you're getting a piece of trash back because you thought this was just a preppy, I could pay for it camp, because we took private social service and juvenile justice. I'm having a hard time talking today. It's the same thing in the prisons, and they glorify this now. And it's just horrible. Just said, yep. I like these weird conversations I have with him. I've never spoke to the man, but I've talked to him a lot. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, the commissary. The money to make off commissary and J-pay for phone calls and for supervision. That's why they called me one time. They said, why aren't you sending 37% of your offenders back to prison every quarter? Because 37% of them haven't violated the conditions of their probation or parole. Well, in order for the prisons to run, nope, that's not my concern. My concern is if they're doing well or if they're doing poor. That's my concern. I was amazed when they called me. And I was like, I have a quota? No, sorry, I don't have a quota. And I never had a quota. Everybody else was like, they're going to be mad if I'm doing my job. What can they say? None of my guys had broken the law. I'm not doing a warrant. Oh, but you can do a technical, and I'm not doing a technical that is this big of a problem when we can overcome it in 5 minutes and fix it, when he needs to be here for his wife and 3 children and become the man he's supposed to be. If I put him back in prison for 3 more years, he's going to come out a piece of trash. He's got a chance right now. I'm not going to do a warrant on a technical this big. And it was like, they just wanted money. And the inmates get paid daily, right? The prison gets paid for the inmates, and the inmates make like 17 cents a day. And so some of them that have spent 20 years come out with a little chunk of money. I mean, not a lot for 20 years, but a little chunk of money. But the ones that have been in there for longer than that have been pulling the strings, they're probably set up for life. I'd hate to know how many mason jars are buried in the backyards of wives of people that have been in prison for more than 6 years. I had a guy come out. He was a pot grower. Least of my worries, to be quite honest. Don't have nothing against it. I think there's a lot of good that can be done with the plant. If we could actually get the government to take the patent off of it. Hello, it's natural. How did you do that? And let scientists actually use it, because like for Parkinson's and stuff like that, and autism, especially the violent autism, it's like an amazing cure-all. In other states, people with my disorder say they have great success with it. Guess I'll never know. I live in freaking Podunk. We don't believe in anything. We ain't gonna let you have a chance for crap. So here I am stuck. Now I've asked to go to the Ohio clinic, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not, because I've got half of my Medicare is fine, but my other insurance is still not approving it. So, but he got caught with like quite the operation. I kind of read it now that he's passed away now, but he came out and everybody's like, he's vicious, he's evil, he's mean. He looked like Burl Ives. How can he be scared of Burl Ives? And he sat down, and I was just like, hey, you've been unsuccessful this a few times. How do we do this successful? You know how you failed for 3 times, so tell me how you think we can be successful for now. And he was like, you want my input? Well, yeah, it's your butt going behind bars if you screw up. I would like your input. You failed 3 other times. You've had 5 other officers. Let's talk about it. And he was just like, holy crap. Oh, the trolls are bad because trolls don't have anything else to do. Because they don't have a life or girlfriends or a dog or emotional support animal, or, probably even an existence or a brain, because most of them are probably wired to computers in China. That's a whole nother topic. But thank you for thinking I'm so important. What is it? Ni hao. Thank you. What do you say? I don't know. I tried. But he was just like blown away that I asked his thoughts on it. Well, I got him out in like February. I paroled him like February. By the end of March, he was starting to get itchy. I said, yeah, your honeymoon phase is going to be over. And I said, about the 6-month mark, you're either going to reoffend or decide you're going to have to live a better life. I said, so what do we need to do? He's like, I'm bored. I was always working. He said, I know it was not good stuff, but I was always doing something. I don't want to be still. I can't be still. I said, not to be rude or anything, but as I read your file, you were always caught with bales of marijuana that you had personally grown, because then when they searched your home, they found the fields. Have you ever thought about gardening? Legal gardening? And he looked at me and he goes, no, I've not. I said, well, I said, a lot of farmers markets, I said, have a lot of people that can't pay the prices that would sure like lower prices or even free food. So you could even donate it to the shelter. I said, I can buy you seeds. Do you know that man grew the prettiest garden I'd ever seen in my life? Do you know how happy he was? And that's what we did. And his harvest took him clean through, because harvest, and then what he didn't sell, he put up or canned. That took him clean through the winter. Then he had the holidays with his family, and then we start prepping for the garden the next year. And I bought his seeds every year because he wanted to try different strains of stuff and different tomatoes and different beans. That kept him clean. Do you know that when he passed away, he was off paper? Completed parole successfully. Do you know that when they put him in the nursing home when he was dying, I would sneak him KFC and smokes? He was dying. His insurance only paid for 2 meals a day. He was hungry. He was losing weight. I brought him KFC. The nursing home said I could bring him fat food. They were like, bring him any kind of food that has fat in it. Yeah, he needs to eat. I snuck him the cigarettes in because he was dying anyway, so let him have a smoke. A little bit of kindness goes a long way. I was really sick about 2 months before he passed away, and he called, and I was in the hospital. And when I got home, I was just so sick, I forgot to call him back. And then I got a call from his wife, and he had passed away. I think he was calling to let me know how sick he was. And I always feel bad that I didn't return his call. But I snuck him in KFC and smokes into the nursing home. So, and he was a nice person at his core. He just had never been given a chance to be a nice person in the area he grew up in. He grew up in a hard place with hard people. It was hard to make a buck. He was an older man. He started working when he was like 8. You know, I had kind of the same story. I was working tobacco bottoms before I went to kindergarten. My grandpa grew tobacco. You know those old planters, those old setters that are behind the tractors that you pull, they got the wheel and you stick the plant in and the wheel goes down and plants the plant, but you can get your thumb stuck in that wheel, and if your grandpa does not stop quick enough, you will go right through it and into the ground too and get run over. So you got to have a grandpa with quick reflexes. But we'd get talking about, you know, stuff like that, and he had somebody to talk to, and he had never had anybody to talk to except for his wife. And you know, the men in that area, you know, they have to compete. It's like, you know, gorilla, oh, I'm the biggest man, you know. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. I said, you're the biggest man. I said, and you're worried about dropping the soap in prison. Compute that for me. And he'd be like, well, yeah. I was like, you're the biggest man. You're the biggest man. Big bravado, big fenfidon. Yes, you know. But you'd rather be with 2,000 men than your wife. Explain that to me. And he got to thinking. And he goes, yeah, I've wasted my life. Yeah, you have. He made up for it the last few years, though. He did good. They do, Ashley, they do the craziest things. And did you know that if you are driving with anyone that may have something in their car, that if they find something in their car, they can charge everyone with possession and paraphernalia, if that's what they find? Doesn't matter if it's your car, tagged to you, or you just getting a ride to the store and didn't know that they were dopies. Everybody gets the charge. So I get this little 18-year-old girl going, I just needed eggs from the grocery, and they were going and said I could ride with them. And I'd be like, Jesus. And that poor little girl, 18-year-old, that just needed eggs from the store, had never even had a trouble with straight A in high school, just got out, just started TCAT school, and was going to cosmetology. She had to stop school because probation requirements were too strict. She had to go to therapy. She had to do all these drug classes. And it ruined her life. And about I think she had 2 or 3 years on paper. By the time she was about to the end of it, she had turned into what they told her she was. Instead of having an officer going, yep, this is going to take a chunk of your life. It's going to suck, but we're going to stay on track. We're going to keep making sure that we're upping your grant applications every year so that when you are done with this and able to get those grants, you can then go right back to school. Because as soon as she got off probation, she got a diversion option. So if she had successfully got off probation, it would have disappeared. And she could have got her Pell Grant and gone back to school. But her officer was a butthole and kept telling her what a piece of trash she was. So the hard stuff's easy to believe. So you will learn to hate yourself if so many other people hate you. Especially if you have no self-esteem. So, I mean, gosh, a dying plant that's never seen a raindrop probably thinks it looks like death falling from the sky. You got to know what you're setting these people up for and how you appear to them. So I felt so sorry for that girl because she was a sweet little thing, but boy, when she turned hooch, she did a good job of it. And I felt so bad. I thought, well, we lost one. And she shouldn't have been lost. So. Oh yeah, I think there's tons of medical benefits for marijuana. I think a lot of the states, they're allowing a lot of the research and stuff. Like if I told my doctor if they ever do medical marijuana testing because I have this disorder, put me on the list. I'll try it because my nerves are screwing up and I'm getting a Parkinsonian tremor. And a lot of days, Gypsy see me. A lot of days I shake really bad, and I have like Parkinson's attacks. It's what it looks like. Gypsy's seen them. I don't like to scare Gypsy, but she's with me enough. She's seen them a few times. Sabrina's seen me in some not so good days too. But Gypsy's probably seen the worst of it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you through that. I didn't know I was going to fall to pieces that day. I can normally cover up a lot of what my body's doing, but when it gets to a certain point, I look like someone with Parkinson's having a really bad attack. And I love you too. And I think because this is an issue with nerve damage, and therefore, since it's nerve damage, it has a neurological foundation. I think that it could probably do miracles for people with my condition as well. Now, am I terrified of it? Yeah, terrified of it, because I've only ever seen bad connotations of it mostly. But am I willing, with what my life is turning into, to explore? Yeah, if it becomes a legal option in Tennessee, I will explore it. Now, I'm a type A person, and I like to be firmly planted in reality and have control. So it may not work for me. But you know, all I do, I sit in court and watch all these people, and I'd read all this paperwork about these recreational drugs, and I saw no one on probation or parole that would have called it any kind of fun. And I'd be like, why do they call them recreational drugs when apparently there's no fun? Because everybody ends up in court and on supervision. But I'm like a very type A, like, control. You know, I have to, my environment is mine and I control it. That's all I can control is me and my environment. And so I don't know how I would do with it. But I mean, I would be willing to try it. But Tennessee is like way behind. I'm not giving up. I'm too surly to give up. But I'm at this moment right now, because of the position that the sorry police force and the stupid district attorney's offices put me in, and I'll say that to their face, and I have. If you're watching this, I have to put myself in a safe place. And David is very territorial. This is his land. He doesn't want to lose it. He doesn't want anybody to harm it. He's not willing to leave. I have to choose my safety. He's 6 foot, 260 pounds. Everybody runs from him. I'm not him, and my body does not work as well as it used to. Now, I was a little stinker when I was working. I'd put men to shame at the fire range. I mean, I good, but my body does not always cooperate. So it would just take somebody trying to get me on a bad day, and they could probably get me. So I know I have to bunker and put myself in a safe place and have 500 cal tell me there's a car coming down the road and about 4 security cameras, and be safe. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I have to do. And I'm irritated with Dave that I halfway understand and I halfway don't. And that's why we're in such a disagreement right now. So, but I've got to heal. I've not healed since I've been sick with that mastoiditis. You guys see my eyes. My eyes are still horrible. I've not healed. I've got to rest. I've got to heal. I've got to get out of parole officer mode. I've got to get out of wake up at every noise mode. I've got to get out of, damn it, she's just 70 yards away. That's too close. The only reason I'm in my kitchen tonight is she's not home yet. Do you want to know why I hadn't been doing a whole lot of stuff on YouTube, or I've been putting my stuff in the living room? Because when my damn kitchen light came on, she'd shoot. I know that y'all have seen lives where I've had to stop and go, my dang neighbor's shooting. You know, and that was a handgun, so it was going to drop off before it got here. But when she switched to the long barrel, no, that could have killed me. So, I mean, that bullet for the first, like, 50 yards goes 1,200 foot a second, and for the, like, 100 yards goes 1,000. It cracks skull. And the bad thing, a lot of people say is, 22s are not dangerous. Yes, they are, because they get in there and they ricochet around. Or if you got holler points, you screwed, because they just implode. So if you get a shot in a very serious area, it just ping pongs all through you. Or if it's a hollow point, it just, and you just get shrapnel all on the inside. Y'all saw me load my pistol with hollow points when I went out with David, because if something came up on me, it was going to be a headshot. When I go out with him and he lets me go with him to check the trap lines, I always have my 9mm on me, and I always put hollow points in it. Number one, because I don't want it to ricochet and hurt somebody else. if me and David are in close proximity. Number two, I'm going to do a headshot, and I want it to and blow its brain apart. So that's why I use holler points. But when you know somebody's shooting them at you, no. So, a lot of places have outlawed holler points. So, slowly but surely, they're taking away our ability to protect ourselves. Pretty soon, you're just going to have to carry a big stick like, what is it? Buford Pusser. I understand that man more every day now. I hope so, Mary. He just really does not want. It's like he feels that he to stand his ground here, and I'm like, screw him, let him have it. That's what insurance is for. But he's determined, and I don't want to leave him alone. But I know he's okay. Like the one night I spent down at Mom and Dad's with the severe storms came through, because they were through by like 10 o'clock. He doesn't get off work till like midnight. I came home the next day and I went to lay down in bed and went clunk. Ow. Picked up my pillow and there was his pistol. I said, you should tell your wife when you put your pistol under her, that hurt. He goes, oh, sorry. I was just being prepared. So I know he's uncomfortable here too. Not near as much as me, because he's only here about 7 hours a day. And I hate to put him in it, but he's choosing that position. So he's choosing to defend his home. But he's like, if we both leave, they'll burn this place to the ground. Probably true. Probably true. I mean, we see it happen in this county all the time. So, but I've got to heal, and I've got to get to a place where I don't feel like because we're on like a top of a knoll here, and we've got a creek, and we used to have hairy forest around us the whole way, but then she logged her backyard, apparently when she was high, because now she thinks little green men are still in her trees. I shit you not, that's what she said. That's true. And so she, when the leaves are not on our trees, she has a direct line of sight to my backyard, my back porch. And even in the summertime, if she wants to, it's going to be so thin there now she could probably still see. So David said if we can get it taken care of in court before summer, he's like, I'll put a full-on thick privacy fence. He's like, she'll have to have a freaking cannon to get through it. And I said, let's just see if we get this through court. So, yeah, he's a good man. He's a good man. A little too stoic at times. Sometimes you just got to retreat and get a better spot to take, to get safety from. But he's not here enough, but he knows that if they don't see cars coming in and out, that they'll take advantage of it, because nobody wants us here. Been here 21 years. Nobody's ever wanted us here. Ask Sabrina about my neighbors. You still in here, Sabrina? Oh, she's been here long enough to get the full feel for him. So, and literally, she skirted out the worst of the shooting. She left probably about 8 days before the woman went completely ballistic. So, but it's sad. Like Gypsy and her daughter was going to come and see me for her week off of spring break, and it was like, no, it's not safe. I can't leave to go see my new grandbabies or have them come up here to visit. It's not safe. I can't leave because God knows what happened to my home, and I can't have them here because God, they might get shot. How can you even say those things and think in any way they're kosher? Y'all heard me tell the dispatch guy it's an effed up feeling. And turned out there. And when I come out of the porch, where do they go? When I come out, what do? They flee. And I mean, I get on the porch and I'm like, it's called a muffler. Freaking buy one. And I have to say, like, does that have to be that loud? There was one day that he pulled in on his motorcycle, and apparently his wife, I guess they're still married, was sitting behind him. And yeah, the FedEx guys hope that they try to, for a couple of times, put it on my porch, so I throw it across the fence at him, and I was like, deliver your mail where it goes. And they were like, okay. But they had just come in on his motorcycle, and they had just got off the motorcycle, and I had the windows open. It was one of the first pretty days, and I was like, oh, fresh air after winter, and oh my gosh, you know, you can hear, they even had the sawmill running. It was such a nice, just kind of ASMR day. It was just really nice. Hear the birds chirping, a little bit of wind, hear a dog every once in a while, and hear the sawmill buzzing. I enjoy that. And then all of a sudden, here comes this big mufflered motorcycle, and I don't know what she did. Apparently, you know that they call it, and I'm not being rude, they call it the bitch seat. Apparently, she had sat on the bitch seat wrong. Don't know if it's possible, but apparently he thinks it is. So they were having a full-on domestic right out in the front yard. And she started crying. And he told her she was crying like a little baby. And I went, in my head, went, whoop, that's a Godsmack song. So I got my little dot, and I put it in the window, and I had it play Crying Like a Little Bee. And they took it, and they realized I was irritated, and they went in the house. I mean, I can find, you know, nice little tactical ways to politely tell you don't, you know, but don't shoot at me. Oh yeah, they like to sit in front of the door and watch me too. They stare at me. And I tell them, I said, y'all should be sending me thank you cards. I'm the reason you got your Obama phones and your Obamacare and your food stamps. Y'all should be sending me thank you cards. They didn't like that very much. And then the little girl, the little woman, the little wife, years ago when the kids were little, they were having a domestic out in the yard, and my kids came in crying because of apparently whatever they'd done to each other. And so I walked out, and then this was one of my big, burly, hefty days where I could have slammed a 500-pound hog down. I know I could because I'd done it before. And that little 110-pound tut-jawed heroin user come up to me and said, how dare you tell me to be quiet when I'm on my own property? And I was like, cross the fence. Cross the fence. Climb the fence. You can hit me twice. Why can I hit you twice? Because I won't need proof where I hurt you. She just kind of looked, and she backed up. I said, cross the fence. I said, you scared my children in with your behavior. I said, I am their mother. Cross the fence. I don't want a problem. You already created one with your mouth and your behavior. Now, do you want me to call the police and have my children tell them verbatim what you said that scared them? I said, gee, I said, you've been having a domestic 5 minutes ago. You certainly lost your words very quick. I said, you know, I think I know the problem. If you had put half as much between your ears as you have between your legs, we wouldn't be having this problem today. And that took her so by. And I just stood there like, across the fence. And she went in the house. And so they kind of give me wide berth because they know, don't. I'm trying to raise good children. Don't. And so they kind of give me wide berth. And if all I have to do is kind of look at them, and they'll either turn the radio down or take it inside. So mutual agreement. I don't like you. You don't like me. Let's not make it worse. We have cues. So we get along by not getting along. We just kind of go, don't do it. And so we just leave each other alone. But literally, like when I had my badge, people just scattered out of here like roaches. And then when I retired, they started moving back in. And it's because a felon can manipulate the law better than a lawyer. And they know exactly what they're doing. Well, I'm telling you, most women need to put more between their ears. Y'all focus on the wrong end. Your cooter can't read. It can't even spell. Lord, the things I say. But yeah, that's pretty much what I deal with. And I have a pretty good sense of humor about most of it. Like, I realize that people are different and people have different lifestyles, and I'm not going to agree with everybody's, and that's okay. But when you slinging dope, selling dope, when it violates the law, I have a problem. It's not according to some of my rap songs. I swear, if you send me WAP, I'm going to smack you the next time you come down here. Oh my God. I sent you my song of the day. Did you listen? Oh no, don't you dare. Oh. Me and Sabrina get along, and we are so similar in so many ways, but we are so polar opposite in others. Like, our music, we have like a mild overlap, and then it's like whew, polarized. You. I needed those giggles. I really did. I haven't laughed in days. I needed these giggles. You know it's bad when you have to sign in to preview. Somebody put a picture of Biden in between two kids, and if you have children in the room, please avert them to somewhere else. They put a picture, and there was one of our county's chat pages, and I just read them. I never respond. I just read them to see who's into crap, because that's who you know has to avoid. And I was sitting there reading, and this one had been like, "This is why you should vote for Biden." And she put all the things that, they say Trump's done. And then they had a picture of Biden on a cell phone, looking at a cell phone between two kids that were not really even engaged. And they were like, he's even president and took time for his grandchildren. And number one, grandchildren's a very loose term for that family. Number two, he was probably on Pornhub. That's what I put. And I kept waiting to get put in Facebook jail. They ain't got me yet. But I had to. I had to say it. Do y'all ever get in situations like that where you're just like, no, I'll just do it? I had those. I'm really bad on Facebook. I mean, but it's like, like, most of the time it's like, can you read? Like, that's the questions I have from most people. I'm like, excuse me, did you understand the context of what you just did? But nobody's put me in Facebook jail yet. In my defense, it was the chit and chat for the not so sensitive. So maybe that's. Somebody underneath me said, yeah, and he's probably watching his own son's uploaded videos. And I was like, oh, burn. That made me laugh too. Seriously. Did you see the other day they had to introduce him to people and he kept doing this and they just had to grab his hand to shake it because he apparently thought he was shaking hands doing this? Y'all, I've taken care of enough dementia patients to know what's going on here. Somebody needs to change his Depends, give him animal crackers, a sippy cup of water, and put him to bed. Let him just watch the Westerns or West Wing or something, and just let the poor man be. I feel kind of sorry for him. I'm like, this is elder abuse, bless his poor heart. But then I'm like, his family knows what they're doing. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. But he knows what locker that cocaine's in. So I had to. See, y'all are. I'll turn back into me as soon as I get back down there. I know I'm safe tonight and at least tomorrow night. But I may be down there tomorrow night, but at least Wednesday night. And then I'll start loosening back up and doing the fun videos again and getting back to my normal stuff. But I've just been through too much. And it's been like, you go online and be jovial. No. It's like, request denied. I'm not conducive to society. I will probably cuss somebody out. Don't do it. So, but as my mother said the other day, you are your father's daughter. So if you like my dad and the content he creates, y'all are gonna love the next little bit. It's gonna be a lot of farm and a lot of mom and dad. So y'all are gonna really enjoy that. Although I will, because I don't have to maintain a whole home. Me and mom work in conjunction, and I'll have more free time. They have a very small house too, so that makes it easier. And they have a handicap tub, makes it easier for me. That's very nice. But I'll have more free time, so I can do more research. I have like a whole optogenetics. I can't talk today. I have a whole optogenetics slideshow to do for y'all to explain when Sabrina's talking about optogenetics and using all these big words. Sorry, I mean, she got a big brain. She uses big words. Me, I just got a big butt, so I have to sit on it and figure out what the big words mean. So I've done that for y'all, and I've got a slideshow almost ready. So the rest of y'all that struggle like me and are like 3 days behind her in research, I'll catch you up on it. So it's coming. It's on the way. I promise. And that way, when she's talking, you'll have more. You'll be able to hang on quicker and follow it better. Because don't feel bad, because sometimes when she starts talking, I'm going, huh, and then I have to rewind it. And then I have to write down keywords and I have to rewind it. And I have to write down another keyword. I have to rewind it. And then I have to research the keywords. And I'm like, oh. And then I try to come on here and tell y'all the, oh. But don't feel bad. It takes me that long too. It totally takes me that long too. Every once in a while, when she's talking about some sock stuff or some mild programming, I'm like, okay, I can follow this. And then she gets well here, and I'm like, wait for me. And then, but I'll get it. I've got it almost all the way done. And I've actually Google fingered everything so that as I tell you all this, all the people that are anti-Google fingers can realize that they can go and learn all of this, because Google and the government tell completely on themselves. You just got to punch it in. So that's what I've been working on, and that's what I was working on until I'm trying to find a nice way to say it. The crap hit the fan. I went through like 5 options there, and none of them were good, so I had to think. Oh, I was just talking about you the whole time you were gone. There's no wonder you didn't sass me. But I do have an optogenetics slideshow prepared so that people can follow you and your big words and your big brain. Because I told them all I do is sit on my big butt and have to follow you. So I'm helping them compost it down to easier stuff through Google, and I'm showing them how they can Google and learn all this. Google fingers in the government. They tell themselves, you just got to type it in. But I've got an optogenetics slideshow and how they're using it, how they have used it, and how they started using it, and for the purpose of why they started using it. I've got it all, and I've just got to put it together and narrate it. And for me, that has been too much to ask for the last few nights with what I've been going through. When you see me and my eyes not puffed and rimmed, right, then you'll know I'm doing much better. But there ain't no concealer that'll cover that crap up right now, so I don't even try. But I do have that started. And it is like 40-something slides, so I'm going to have to pare some of them down so I keep it simplistic and maybe do like a 3-parter so y'all can consume little stuff easily. But it's easy to understand if you pull it down. And a lot of it just has to do with your eyesight, certain lights, certain pulsations of lights, and genetic modification. That's basically the gist of it. But we'll get into all that when I cut it all up. But it's going to be a doozy. And I think it'll help a lot of you. There's a curve with Sabrina where you get with her, and then when she turns a corner to a certain land, you go, wait, I'm lost. And so I'm trying to turn the corner and help you get in the right direction, because I'm there too sometimes. So if I'm going to research it, I might as well share what I find with you all. I mean, that's seems only logical for me. So you tell Sergeant Doohitchy Majigger, what's his name? Hoochie Coochie. That was from Smile Until It Hurts. I just used his. Oh, And I bought that freaking candle that changes colors that Smile Until It Hurts recommends, the 8-inch one, which I thought was funny when he said that. But anyway, sorry. It's beautiful. It lights. It goes through like 8 colors, and it lights up beautifully. It's over yonder. But he calls everything hoochie coochies, and that just stuck in my brain. So yeah, I've got that going, and it's very easy to follow. I just need a brain day where I'm functioning. Y'all, I've been slow the last week. After all of that happened and my adrenaline went, oh, we're done. My body went, yeah, and my brain went, that's where I've been stuck. That's where I've been stuck for the last few days. But now I'm starting to perk up again. But you know, I have to, when I found out she was released, I had to make a plan for my safety. So my whole life, 21 years of not even a traffic ticket, and my whole life has been upended by a meth head. You have no idea the inert anger within me that I'm trying to be a really good person in society and take care of it the correct way. Even though she was shooting at me, I'm trying to be a good person, follow them commandments. There's a lesson in here somewhere. Maybe it's for y'all. This is kind of a watch and learn channel because I show you my real life, and boy, I have a lot of crap happen between medical and being in Podunk, almost the twin of McDowell County, or as they call it, McDowell County. There's a lot to learn here. There's a lot of beauty here, but there's a lot of ugly here too. And a lot of people drive through and they only see the beauty. But if you stay here for more than 5 days, you'll start to see a lot of the ugly. And I hate that because we have some really quality people from this area. And I hate that it's only known for what it's turning into. But another part of the issue is we've got a lot of implants. And like we've got 3,000 or 4,000 implants in the last 5 years. Because they're all running to hide. Hey, I understand it. That's why I came back to here after my first divorce. It's safe here. I know how to hide. I know how to hide here. I know how to use the land to hide. But when they only bring the retirement and they don't bring any commerce and they do all the shopping in other counties, because we don't have we have a Walmart and one Walgreens. Living large. So they go out of county to spend their money. So they really only bring very little here. All they do is raise the land taxes to where the rest of us are like, excuse me, sir, I only have a little spot of land, you know. Why did the number go up 5 zeros? And so they have created a lot of a population boom, but not any commerce or financial boom. And so our police force can't grow as our population is growing. So that's why a lot of the crap is happening. But when you tell people that come here, that move here, I'm not causing any problems. We got an idiot. We got a live one. So, you know, just be aware. I was aware every time I moved somewhere of the impact I could have on a place. And I wish other people would just think for 5 seconds about things like that. Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have a place to go and be safe. I'm blessed that I have family as paranoid as me. Oh no, honestly, I'm really lucky that there are haulers with only one road in, and so that's the safest place for me. So that's where I'm going to be. But y'all, this has been the worst experience I've ever been through. It literally has caused my whole life to implode. It has ruined plans that I have had in the making for 20 years. It has ruined my ability to go and see my grandbabies in Georgia because now I can't travel because I could be called to court at any time. Can't bring my grandbabies up here. I ain't got anywhere safe to put them. So I get pictures. I wear a bracelet. It's got all my grandbabies' names on it. They each have a heart. I got 3 right now. I'm hoping, because after about 4 or 5, the bracelet gets really full. So contain yourselves. But, I do everything I can to keep them in my thoughts every day. But you impede my ability to enjoy my land and live a calm life and just be a normal person. It's not nice. Es no bueno. You want to know what she is down there? She's a puta madre. Don't say that in mixed company. Don't teach your children that word. I worked for a little Puerto Rican man. He taught me all the bad words. But, Julio's come in handy. He's been dead for a while, but he's still coming in real handy. So, thank you, Julio. Appreciate you. But Mary's laughing. Mary, did you know what that was? But it's been the last few weeks have been bad with my sickness. Mom getting trapped here that one night because of her shooting. Now that really pissed me off. When you scare my mama, I'm done. That really pissed me off that night. Really. And I think my mother was actually scared of me that night because I was literally on the back porch telling her to get her MF and ASS in her MF and house and put her MF and gun up. And my mother was like, where did that come from? And I was like, Mom, it's better if you don't know. I think I scared my mom that night. But she did go in that night, and I got Mom to her vehicle safely. And then my blood pressure skyrocketed again, and my nurse had to come out. So, winner, chicken dinner, and then it crapped out. I got 2 of these together now. Zip ties. God's answer to everything. They even make them in handcuffs. So that's what's going on, y'all. You saw my Temu haul. You saw the crafts I'm working on. I will be taking some of this. They're probably not going to be happy, but I'm going to be taking some of this to work with and finish. And a lot of the summer stuff that I'm about to enjoy, I'll just take with me and put out at Mom's. She'll enjoy it too. But the EMF winners, I'm sending those out in cards. So I've got Ashley and Denise's addresses. But if Savannah sees this, make sure I have yours. Because I know it changed recently, but I can't remember if I got the last one wrote down or not. But she's got me on Facebook. She can get with me. But I'm going to get these sent out. But I'm only getting certain days to go out to do things because of my health. So I'm doing things as quickly as I can. And then the day that I get picked up to take my first load of stuff down the hill and go, I'm going to stop at the post office and say hi to Shelly, because I'm going to miss her, and get everything sent and get Scully's stuff sent. And I'm hoping to have that owl one done so I can get it mailed too, because I don't want to go down there with something half finished because I'm afraid I'll screw something up or forget where I put something. Or you all crafters, the crafter's nightmare. Where did I put that? I say that at least 50 times a day. But I'm hoping to have everything that I'm working on complete by then so that I can go down there and just start new with the crafts. So that's the plan. I mean, they need to be fluffed, but I think they're cute. So now I have all 3 of them done. I mean, they're cute. They would probably confuse the heck out of Mom's hummingbirds, but I do have, I had already had most of my porch decorated in, decorated in sunflowers. Already had most of my stuff up, so it's kind of irritating that I might have to take it down. Hallelujah! Send that sucker everywhere. I want God, Jesus, and everybody know what I went through. And I need me a really good federally licensed civil attorney. Anybody want to go on a cruise? Yep. I told everybody to blast it. I said, blast it everywhere. I know it was, I've got one that's around 500 views, one that's around 600, and one that's around 2,300. So I was like, send it everywhere. I want God, Jesus, and everybody. Hey, you background me. It's a plain piece of paper, except for when I've been federally and state fingerprinted for jobs. It's a blank piece of paper. I've been a good little girl. Honestly, I joked with my last judge and said I've spent enough time in lockup doing parole, revocation hearings and serving paper because I was IPO of 2 facilities. I said I should get at least 1 free misdemeanor. And he just looked at me and he said, that's not the way it works, Elizabeth. And I said, yeah, but it should. Because I have served the time. I've been in lockup with everybody else. I just been serving paperwork. But I always used to use that joke with my old judge, and he would just kind of look at me and be like, it's not the way it works. I'm like, it should. And I always think about correction officers, and this is why so many of correction officers turn bad, because that's a society within a society. So here's the world that we live in. Here's prison, and then here's the dirt balls in prison. So we all live in the world. Correction officers kind of live here with the world, that the prison is. But then eventually some of them start to see the world that was just crap. And they start to see the benefits of that because they see these people making money in prison. And they go, hey, I'm going to cut to that. I can leave a door unlocked. I can leave a key somewhere. I can sneak a phone in. I can give you, 4 packs of cigarettes, or, do even worse things. And that's because they get entrapped in that society within a society. They forget the real world's rules. It's very difficult. That's why people that are in cults and stuff, that's why it's so difficult. They kind of get Stockholm syndrome, and they kind of turn into an inmate themselves because they think, well, I served time here with them. I might as well get, the benefits too. Hey, Savannah, I just said, make sure that you message me your latest address. So, cause I'm going to try to get those in the mail, and I'm going to send them in cards. So you'll get a thick card with it in it. Cause I don't want them to get stuck in the machine when they flip them through at the mail, the post office. But that's why we have so many CEOs go bad. And it's difficult when you see the underbelly. If you ever watch that guy's channel, Soft White Underbelly, that Mark guy that I had beef with him because I thought maybe he was taking advantage of the Whitakers with that inbred family in West Virginia, but actually he was trying to help them. But you see how the Whitakers manipulated him, because he was living in this world and they were in these two, and he couldn't figure out what was going on, but they knew because they live here. So he was looking at it from here, and they were taking the money and going here, and he couldn't realize why he was giving him $153,000. Where did it all go? Mark, call me before you send the Whitakers any more money. I'll tell you how to get it to them where they can't buy dope. You send Amazon packages, and then you mark them, and you send the ones that are open that can't be returned for resale. You buy that, you can get an Amazon order and you can get it for like $3 cheaper. It's been opened, but it's still new, but the box has been opened. But those you can't send back. You can't get the money back on them. And you only send useful things. Because a lot of people will buy a lawnmower, but not everybody's going to buy panties and dishwashing detergent and, Depends and, odd size jeans. You don't buy things that they can resell for high money, and you don't give them cash. I very rarely, if I ever saw somebody on the interstate ramps panhandling, there was a couple times that he didn't look. He looked clean, and he looked like he was just in a bad situation, and he was younger. So there's a Subway right off the ramp. I went to the Subway, went back to the ramp, went to the next one and come back to the ramp, stopped, and I said, here's your Subway and here's your Diet Coke. I'm an officer. I'm not trying to poison you. It's a hot day. You need to eat and drink. And I had those little baggies that had like soap and Colgate and a toothbrush. And I said, here's a bag. And I kept those in my car. He didn't ask for money. He was actually just trying to get somewhere and appreciated whatever was given to him. And then other times when I'd hold out a Subway, they go, you got a 20? Oh, now you don't get the sandwich. And I left. Consequences are great things. And as Sabrina likes to hear, they rarely come lubricated. But boy, do they teach you a lesson. They hurt, and you remember that. So I hope they remember that next time somebody offered them food, they didn't try to get cash. So, but I kept those in my car when I worked because I had to get off 3 interstates when I went to my hub office, and there were always people that needed stuff, and so I would just constantly hand out little bags. We would keep and they were just like little pint bags, but they'd have like a little deodorant, little toothbrush, little toothpaste. Never mouthwash because a lot of people would drink that instead of alcohol. Never mouthwash. Give them an Andes Mint or something or a Lifesaver, but never mouthwash. And for women, we would have them with sanitary products. And I would just hand them, people take whatever, if they're in need, they'll take whatever you hand them and they're thankful for it. And you find that one out of about 50 that wants money, you know exactly what they're going to do with it. That's where it's going. I have a deviated septum. I'm not even sure I could. I'm not even sure I could do that. I can't use a neti pot, so I probably couldn't. Let's see, in Vegas. Professional panhandlership, they're good. If I ever saw the same person twice, I'd never give them anything again. Yeah, if I ever saw the same person twice, I'd never give them anything again. Me and the kids used to always pick someone at the nursing home that didn't have family to buy for. And it was like normal that my kids would each pick someone at the nursing home that didn't have family, and we'd go and buy for them. And we try to buy nice stuff that we knew they needed or would be useful. And this one guy wanted a radio with a CD player. And I guess it's because when he got put in there, probably took all the CDs and he liked music. They had a little thing, really loves music, wants a radio, but it needs to have a CD player for his collection. And my son, who is a music lover as well, he said, I want to buy this for this man. That child went and picked out the most expensive. But because he, was motivated in the right way, we bought it. And that guy had a really good Christmas because he needed slippers and socks and stuff like that too. So he had a big Christmas. Haley picked someone that just needed normal stuff, so we bought sweaters, and she always picked a female. We bought sweaters and stockings, woolly socks, non-slip woolly socks. And every once in a while they would want deodorant or hair products. So if some of the women had got the perm, because the lady would come through and perm their hair every month, they would need mousse or something in a pick. So the women were always easier to buy for. That man specifically wrote down what he wanted. And while I could have bought a $15 one, that would have worked just fine. Lane Allen was not going to have that. And that man had to have the top of the line. So we bought it. And it didn't bother me because I was working good then. Hey, would you know right now in New York, if you go to Nick Shipley's channel, Nick Shipley, a young man doing a world of work for, he's putting people to shame. Or you go to Cash Jordan, cash like money, Cash Jordan. They're both actively, Cash Jordan lives in New York, and he's giving you what's actually going down in New York and showing you the laws and stuff going up. There's so much rain headed to Tennessee, and I feel it in my knees, and it's shooting on the radar now, and I'm not liking that. Sorry. But Cash Jordan is showing you exactly what's happening, showing you how these new mandates are affecting New York and how it's killing the economy and how it's making it basically a hybrid city where you only come to work but you don't go to live. And so in essence, it's killing the familial cohesion that a community requires to be a positive place. He's done wonderful stories covering that. But Nick Shipley will go and just talk with immigrants because he lived in South America, Central America for several years as a missionary. And this is a young man. He's done missionary work his whole life with his family. His mother is a sociologist, psychologist, one of the two. I can't remember. And he will just go and have conversations. And a lot of them will say, I want to go home. I came here, wanted 2 jobs. I have to see a lawyer, an attorney, and a social worker, and it's going to take me 2 years to get papers to work, and I can't send any money to my family, and they're starving. And I'm here, and I can eat 3 meals a day and sleep in the bed, but my family's starving. And I feel for those people because they came here to work. But then there's others going, heck yeah, I get a debit card, I get a phone, I get 3 meals, I get to stay there, and if they kick me out of there, I go over here and I get this one. And it's mind-boggling. And New York is trying to blame Texas, but hello, New York, you chose to be a sanctuary city. You chose to put these rules on your law books so that these people can manipulate it. So stop blaming other people and change your laws. And but it's horrible because even the immigrants, the aliens, they're coming and they're saying we never thought we'd see homeless people on the streets in America. And then they'll go, they told us that this was the land of plenty. We could have 2 and 3 jobs. Who told you? Oh, the people that funneled and smuggled you and paid for you to get here and put you on flatbeds and buses and carted you and made you stop every few hours and made you spray yourself with water. And, oh, this is so hard, even though your feet were clean, even though you had flip-flops on, your children were in perfectly white, crisp clothes. Nobody was sweating, but you made us think that you were hiking all these ways. Boy, you made dang good time. A horse can only go 4 miles an hour walking, but a 2-legged person is covering how many miles a day? Think, people. And these people going, they're walking 120 miles a day. Well, we missed some Olympic power walkers there, didn't we? Get dumb, honey. Ever looked up how much people can walk in a day? I get really like people's stupidity is funny sometimes, but when you are passionately and aggressively stupid about things that are changing other people's ability to survive, shut up. Shut up. Read a book. I look at people sometimes and I'm like, how do they wipe their butt? That's some Velcro shoe people. Remember we talked about this the other day. Some Velcro shoe people. I know I'm mean. Most of the time it comes from a place of real concern. Tonight I'm just irritated. But yeah. It's been fun the last few months to sit here and struggle to pay bills while the woman down the way goes through about $1,200 worth of ammo in a week. Do you know that one box of 19 for one specific weapon David has cost $39? That was 19. Now, what if she had that weapon and she was expelling 400 rounds? Oh. Her hoochie coochie talking to a lot of people, apparently. It's saying, feed me cash. Oh, yes, I'm a turd. As soon as I get to the gates, Jesus is going to smack me on the top of the head and say, I told you not to say that. I had to. See, me and David are super frugal. Like to the point where I buy soap on Temu because the Dollar General is getting too full of itself. That's how frugal we are. Like I wear Temu clothes. My flip-flops are $2.99. My house shoes are $1.98. You know, I can tell you all the prices. And when they say you get 70% off, and I'll scroll going, you lying sack of crap. That's what it costs regular. Leave. I can tell you all the prices on Temu. What did David? David needed wrap. So when he was fleshing his hides, he gets his wrist really swollen. And he needed a wrap. And so I got him like 10 rolls of camo. We call it vet wrap. Keflex, vet wrap, Coflex, or whatever, we're Hicks. We call it vet wrap. I got 10 rolls for what you could buy 2 at Walmart. And I thought, I can't go to Walmart and I'm like, I can get that for $1.99 on Temu. I can get that for $2.98 on Temu. I ain't buying that. Those are $3 on Temu. Same pair of shoes I got. Where are they? Oh, shoot. I took them down to the thing. Anyway, I got some little slides. They're really cute little slides. $13. $42 at Walmart. Looks like the exact same thing. Sole and all. And I was just like, I should have bought stock and Vaseline as a child. We all should have. We'd be rich. Well, not only because everything's petroleum based, but because we're all getting shafted. You felt like crap after watching. Well, you're not supposed to look at it. Did you look at it? You're not supposed to look at it. That might be why you feel like crap. Everybody was so worried about this. Oh, is July in here? Hi, July. Everybody was so worried about this solar eclipse. Hey, listen, when I walk in front of my lamp in the living room, the other side of the room doesn't get any light. I understand how this works. It's not too impressive because I can cause an eclipse when I walk in front of my lamp in the living room. But everybody was like, well, there's once in a lifetime. Really, I've seen 3 that I can remember. One where they, in elementary school, where they lined us all outside and said, now don't look up directly. Just wait till you get your chance to look in the little box. We're all on the pavement going, why can't we look up? Okay, we won't look up. Oh, we're going to look at a slit through a box. This is really supposed to help. I guess it's kind of like Eskimos that get snowblind, unless I guess it just, reduces. That was my growing up. Now it was, you need 2 weeks of water. You need food, emergency food put up. You need gasoline. You need a full tank of gas. It just sounded like they were setting everybody up to get robbed. Because everybody's going, oh, you see that ritzy neighborhood? They've got 2 weeks of food, water, gasoline, probably a generator. And I was just sitting here going, okay. And I was like, why is NASA trying to put rockets up to the solar eclipse? I mean, didn't we just send Jeffrey Bezos up there to fart in the atmosphere? It didn't do much. Why? That's a lot of gas. Gas is pretty expensive right now. Why are we doing this? Did anybody notice how all of them had biblical names? Did anybody notice that? Go look at the names on the rockets that NASA put in the atmosphere. Y'all not ever read the fine print? That's where most of the good information is. Just tidbit for you. Samsonite, you said you had a message restricted. What did you say? Eye sickness or nausea or headaches? No, they have decision fatigue, Sabrina. Do you remember that? If you have decision fatigue, you may need to have Taco Tuesday on every Tuesday night. Place your shoes beside the door every morning so you don't have to wonder about where they are. If you have friends that want to visit, just tell them, no, I'm sorry, I'm too busy. I have decision fatigue. How about let's isolate everybody and tell them they're stupid? Talk about decision fatigue. I got a lot of fatigue. Decision fatigue ain't one of them. That works whether I want it to or not. I'm making decisions 50,000 a minute. That's not what's getting tired. Stop telling people they can have all these illnesses. You're making them up. I'm laying here flopping in the floor like a fish and falling over radiant heaters because I can't walk and my legs don't work, but it's all in your mind, Elizabeth. But other people have decision fatigue. That technically is all in your mind, too. I really want to go on Jeopardy one day just to screw the whole show up. Does anybody else have goals like that? I just want to go on Jeopardy one day just to screw the whole show up. Because at the police academy, they tried to score me a 99 on my gun test, even though I made 100. And they said, no, you missed one. I said, tell me which one I missed. Well, you said that a revolver has a safety. I said, it does. You have to click your hammer back before it shoots. Therefore, it has a safety. And then you can pull your hammer, squeeze the trigger a little bit and put it back up. And it's not going to fire again. It has a safety device. And they went, technicality. I got a 100. That was at the police. That was at the police school. That was where they were training us. I talked them into 100 on my gun test. I was the only perfect score. Most of the men made 50s and 60s. How? Animals avoid solar eclipses. I mean, they think it's dark time, so they head to the woods. Hens and chickens that go to roost, turkeys that go to roost. It really screws up with their internal clock because they think, oh, dusk is falling, I must get safe. And so while animals avoid solar eclipses, you can take that in 5,000 ways. But if you grew up on a farm and you watch all the cows go to the barn to get fed and the chickens go to roost, and you realize they think it's dusk and they think it's time to eat. All the mules come to the trough like, where's the food? And then in 2 minutes it's light and they're going, what the heck? Guess I missed dinner tonight. And then they start over. So don't put so much stock in something that has a brain that big. Look at them and monitor the behavior, because they'll tell you certain things, but don't think they're like a super genius, But I mean, that's what it is. They think it's dark times. They're going into their natural rhythm. Okay, this is what we do when it starts to get dark. We're just smart enough to know it's not supposed to be dark right now, because somewhere along the line we thought up the clock and time. Gee, thank you. Let me count the years I spent on this earth as I wrinkle. So we just kind of screwed ourselves over because we gave ourselves a time limit and an expiration stamp. That's really kind of mean, actually. Somebody go back and smack the minds for me, because that was rude. Y'all started it. I'm not happy with you now. But yeah, we kind of screwed ourselves up. Honestly, we could probably blame it on the maritime people too. Yep, they were ready for feed, ready to go to roost. If you grew up on a farm, you see this enough. You'll see the bucks come out to feed in the soybean patches and be like, dude, you got 2 minutes. You better eat quick. So I did too. I actually slept through most of it. I was on the phone with the insurance company on hold, dozing in and out. And then they finally addressed my issue, and I went out to get the last 2 minutes as it was lighting back up, and you could hear the birds thinking it was dawn again, and and I thought, okay, this is a good thing. It was less of a hoopla. It just looked like it was cloudy outside. I wasn't really impressed, but I'm one of those people that's not really impressed with a lot. Oscar, those are my flowers. Don't touch them. They stink. They got to go outside and be aired out. He's very concerned because the flowers I threw over there by the door stink. Are you checking them out? Want to say hi to everybody? No? Was that a yes or a no? You want to say hi? Oh, God, you're fatter than I am, dog. Say hi, Odie Poe. Oh, don't lick me. Say hi. So I'm 11. I'm 77 in dog years. I get away with murder. Yes, you do. Oh, yeah. See? Ugh. Yeah, I wasn't setting my day by it. I just told David to be careful driving to work, because it was starting about the time he had to clock in. And I was like, just be careful driving to work, because every idiot in their car is going to be doing this. And I was like, just be careful going to work. So, yeah, Oscar's adorable, but he's spoiled rotten. Hey, listen, you're going to have to grow a thumb and learn how to open the door yourself, because you're asking way too much. I got the death stare. So give me tomorrow is going to be mostly packing and putting this craft crap up. And then Thursday, I don't know if I'm going to leave tomorrow evening or Thursday morning. But if you can hang on to the weekend, I'll be back. And just chill out. Nothing's wrong. I've just got to get packed and safe. I've got a lot of stuff packed so far, but I'm going to get my craft stuff done and packed. And I will mail everything on my way out. So y'all don't need to worry about that. And for Scully, that sent money for the stuff that I used on her dream catcher, I don't deposit those until I mail, because I don't think it's right to. So that's why nothing's I wait until I mail it, and that's when I deposit it. Because you shouldn't have to pay for anything that I used on your dream catcher until I mail it, till it's on its way to you. That's the way I feel. So, but I use these big, beautiful flowers. If you didn't see my dream catcher short, go back and watch it. I use these big, beautiful, and they turned out so much prettier than I thought. With the I had a sea foam ocean vibe going on. I even put an abalone shell on there. I was really proud of that dream catcher, because I didn't use not one dead, well, the abalone shell, but technically, I didn't use any fur or any bones. And I was very proud of myself. And I put quite a bit on it. And I think I made a very beautiful dream catcher without any of my native inclinations in there. So I think it's hard for me sometimes, but I think I did a good job. So go watch my short and tell me if you think it's ugly or if it's good. Because I want to know, because these girly ones, I have like a artistic block sometimes. Your dad said these people lying on the side of the interstate. Oh, my Lord. Well, I mean, if you got the glasses, oh, well. But I wouldn't lay on the side of the interstate. Gosh, one wreck and 50,000 things could be on the side of the interstate with you. Samsonite, you are brave. I mean, there are hidey holes up there, but you're also closer to a lot of other stuff, so be careful. Okay, so you're used to it. You're good then. No dead things. Gypsy's so proud I made something with no dead things. Well, she said I could put feathers, but technically my feathers just fall off living fowl. So nothing was harmed to make that dream catcher. But, well, I think if everybody could move to the country, it would probably benefit, sorry, I'm unplugging my glue gun. It would probably benefit the nation, because too many people are living isolated in cities, and you're surrounded by millions of people, but you're alone. And you don't need anyone's help, because you just need the corner store, your favorite restaurant, and a few things, and you live isolated. And you become socially impaired. Let's just say it. Okay? And if you live in the country, you learn that to rely on your other community members is an integral part of making things work, and knowing who has what skills and who to rely on where and who to ask for help where. And, you know, it's just, it creates a much more woven society, which is much better for raising children and allowing exploration and not being worried about every person you meet on the side of the road. And, you know, you can let your kids play in the front yard without too much fear somebody's going to come up and grab them, you know. I would walk 4 houses up the road to get my pony that my dad parked at his friend's house up the road until he got my barn built. And I was in 3rd grade. I'd walk 4 houses up the road, brush, groom, saddle my pony, ride her down to the house, keep her at the house all day and play with her, train her, because I showed her and stuff. And then I'd tell Mom right before dusk, I'm going to take her back, cool her down, feed her, and I'll walk back home. I was in 3rd grade. I was also in 3rd grade when I went out squirrel hunting to bring home squirrels for dinner. And you were just taught to be a safe member of society. You were just taught to be good. Not Ashley. Well, I think West Virginia has some of the most beautiful formations and mountains. But it's like my home place. It's got some of the ugliest stuff hidden underneath it too. So, but I mean, hey, you're further from Oak Ridge than I am, so good on you. I live kind of close to Oak Ridge. Kind of freaks me out every once in a while. I think city people have forgotten. I mean, because most of them only ever touch pavement. And if they see a tree, it was planned and planted by some committee member, and it's only going to grow so big. They've never seen wild nature. They don't understand that the only thing they have to worry about is a mugger. But I got a 500-pound bear that, you know, just roams the area here, you know. They take their life and apply it to everybody. When people in the country, we have to go visit the city, so we know that we live different. But people in the city don't always go to the country, so they think everybody lives like them. And that's where we've lost the communication. And that's where people, city people think country people are just horrid, vacuous demons that kill every animal they come across to eat. And I'm like, do you know that all year there's only about 2 weeks of deer season, and it's spread out over 3 months, and you can only harvest so many? And they're like, I thought you could go out every day and just kill everyone. Okay, read. It's called a Wildlife Resources Manual. Every state has one. Pick it up. You'll see everything that we have to comply with. It's a doozy. They find a new way to make money every year. But, ignorance. Ignorance can sometimes be isolated, but knowledge is almost always contagious. So you can always reach somebody with knowledge, but ignorance normally stands alone. Nashville's freaking weird as crap. The last time I was there was 2017 or 8, whenever the Queen was there. I was front row, saw Brian May. He was 7 foot from me. And they shut down like 5 city blocks after Bridgestone Arena shut down so that people can disperse. So if you don't have an Uber, you got to walk to your hotel. Well, my hotel was not that far away, and I had a very skinny, like 110-pound friend with me. She was terrified to walk on the streets. And I was like, honey, I'm hard to kidnap. I'm good. And this one guy passed me wearing heels this big, thigh-high, like latex, what do you call them? Pantyhose. What do you call them? They're not pantyhose. Garters. Is that what you call them? I don't know. I'm not a very good girl. Had a tail feather like a Las Vegas showgirl, and he walked past me, and I guess everybody thought I was going crazy. And I went, dang, is that homemade you buy it? He turned around and said, girl, I made this. And I said, daggum, them seams are good. He said, I know. And he kept on walking. She was terrified of him. I just saw really good seamstress quality, and I had to say, did you buy that or make that? Because that's freaking amazing. Hey, I will compliment good seam work anywhere I see it. But, leggings, thank you. See? And, but everybody anticipated when I spoke that there was going to be a clash. And then when I didn't, it was just a jovial group walk back to where we could grab an Uber. But had he gone on and remained ignorant and thought that's just an ignorant hillbilly that's looking at me about, side-eyeing me because she don't like me, let's throw some knowledge out. Dang, that's some good seam work. Did you make that? Is that homemade? And immediately we had a friendship. And immediately he wasn't scared of me. Immediately he didn't think I was a stupid hick anymore. And I'm telling you, knowledge is contagious. And if you can find something to share with somebody, it makes it even more, appropriate. It bonds you even more. But when everybody's trying to be a freaking unicorn, let me tell everybody here something real. Unicorns don't exist. They're a fictional character. Okay? If you're trying to be something that's fictional, you're trying to basically erase yourself from being a human being. You're trying to erase yourself from simply existing. Figure out what you are. Do it. Do it to the best of your will, the best of your capacity. And hopefully when you meet the Lord or whoever your high and mighty is, you can say, I used every goddamn talent he gave me. Do you know there was a woman back at the turn of the century when the Great Depression was going on that was, she had a younger sister. The younger sister was taken in by her aunt when her parents died, but they didn't want her. Her name was Sonora Webster. They made a movie about her, Disney did, but they didn't tell the real story. If you get her book, what is it? A Brave Woman and 5 Horses, or a Woman and 5 Brave Horses. Anyway, it's her memoir. As she lay in the nursing home dying, she gave this memoir to someone to publish. And she loved what she did so much that even after she was blinded while doing it, she wanted to do it even more. So she actually rode diving horses. The horses would run up a gangplank. And you can't make a horse jump. Horses have to jump in water. If you got a horse that won't enter water, they ain't never going to enter water. If you got a horse that likes to jump or likes to wade, I had one that liked to paw and lay down and try to roll with me, and I'd have to spur him and kick him up and be like, I'm still on your back. You can't roll in the mud yet. Some horses love water. Some horses don't. They had 5 trained horses. The horses lived better than I did. Probably better than most people today live. But she was blinded when they got to the Atlantic Pier. They put a band with the horses, and the horses had never been with a band. And the band frightened one of the horses, and he misstepped off the jump plank. His hoof slipped. And so she was not at the right angle when she hit the water, and she had her eyes open. It hemorrhaged and caused blindness. But she couldn't stand to not do what she did so well, what she knew in her heart was her desire and passion in life to do, was to make people be in awe of these amazing animals, what they would do when they were in a trusting, loving relationship. Horses will do anything for you if they trust and love you. I've had tons of them. They're good animals. They're the best therapist I ever had. She actually snuck and practiced and dove blind without her husband, who was the show leader after his father died, without her husband's approval. She dove for 11 more years, and the audiences never knew she was blind because she didn't want them to focus on what was wrong with her. She wanted them to focus on the majesty of the horses and the talent. And she said Disney got it all wrong, so she wrote a memoir about it. And when she couldn't write anymore, she let a lady do transcription and take down her statements. And I keep thinking, we have people that won't even work at a freaking pie tasting factory. But this woman, even blind, chose to push herself so hard. And she did that for 11 years blind, and no one ever knew. And I keep thinking, okay, my passion is people and trying to get people to come together and understand that we're not all alike. But our differences are also our strengths, because if you have a difference, well, that's a blind spot. Okay, I might know this and this, but you might know this. That breaks that blind spot for me. Now I have all this knowledge. I've got a safer fence around me. So all my friends that are different from me, they create a safety pod around me, because the things that I don't see, they see for me. And we all keep each other safe. That's called herd mentality. That's what people are. When you start taking that apart and you try to make a herd animal a solo animal, you basically cause, it's kind of like a heart sickness. And we wonder why we've got a rise in depression, anxiety, psychosis, suicide. Well, we've taken away everything that matters. And nobody thinks there's anything intrinsic within them that's worth bringing out, unless it's going to get them 5 million views on YouTube or TikTok. So it's not about authenticity anymore. It's about a show. We've lost our authenticity as human beings. It's sad, but I mean, it's sad. Yeah, if you ever want to hear a really good story, look up. They've got a really good, it only shows, I think there's one moving video, but it shows mostly stills of Sonora Webster on YouTube. Just type in, it's Sonora, Sonora Webster. But it tells like her life story and stuff. And I've been enamored with this girl since I was like 12. Because as soon as Disney made the movie, I had to go and start learning everything about her. And when I started learning everything about her, she was in a nursing home. And she was actually writing her memoirs. And I was like, I'm going to be buying that. And I've got the book. And I read it probably once every 3 years. It's called A Girl and 5 Brave Horses, I think. It's a really good book. It's a really good book. It talks about the depression, everything she went through. And it tells her story much better than Disney ever thought it could. So read about people. I think everybody should read at least one of Temple Grandin's books. Temple Grandin is freaking amazing. And I think you should go watch Midwest Magic Cleaning, because that man he talks about his autism all the time, but look at how he's turned it into a superpower and is helping hundreds of people. You know, and I wish I had legs, but this is my outreach. This is to tell you to look for your blind spots. Find people that fill them. Even if they're weird and they're not like you, they're still going to show you something, teach you something. They're going to help you in some way. Don't be scared of people that have labels. Labels are normally just for diagnosis reasons, for codes, and for payment. Don't be scared of labels. You can put any label on my forehead and it wouldn't describe me at all. It would just be a way for somebody else to make money off of me. Get to know these people. These skills that they have are amazing. And we look at them like they're the coal of society. Heck no, they've got us all beat. That man is so good. And when he talks about psychology and the psychological issues within hoarding and some of the things he comes across, he says it better than I can, because he thinks more clearly. He doesn't have the emotional, how's this going to hurt somebody, he says it plainly. Just straight definition, what it is. And sometimes I go, how can I not hurt somebody's feelings and say it? And that's wrong. Sometimes it's wrong. Sometimes I just need to say it. He is so good. And I like to watch channels like him because any views he gets, he puts 100% of his funds from his channels into cleaning those people's houses and helping those people that can't help themselves. I like to watch the Boring Channel and the Lawn Care Juggernaut. His name's Kevin. Sweetest man on the face of the earth. He will help. He will help anybody. And every penny he does, he puts into somebody else. His dad's got a channel called Cabin on the Hill. And all they do is go around, and even though they do it with a Christian background, they don't force the religion on anybody. They just help. They help clean up after hurricanes and help mow yards and help do revamps and remodels on houses. There's amazing people on YouTube if you find them. And so I try to find those people that tell those stories that make me go, okay, yeah, they're good people. There are good things happening. There are still good people out there. Instead of getting, the 50,000 notifications of things that I don't want to see that YouTube thinks I should see. But be careful what people want to throw down your throat with this little box. Normally, if they recommend something, I'm like, not watching that. Not watching that. Not watch, because this is a very manipulative tool. Because they can change your whole demeanor. You can watch 5 videos and it will change your whole demeanor for the whole day. So be very careful what you view on TV and on this thing, but on this thing in particular, because people have got this down to a money racket, manipulation. I mean, it's pretty impressive. At least when a movie's made, somebody gets paid and everybody makes something and it's all kind of dispersed. But these people that keep their lives going crazy to make money, like Whoa Vicky, holy mother. Whoa Vicky, she named herself, right? Whoa Vicky. You need a whoa, And that's why I pulled away from Ryan, even though I adore Ryan, and I think him being with JJ is a good thing, because I think JJ is going to be a good anchor for him. JJ's new gospel album dropped, and it's great. JJ Lawhorn, go watch JJ Lawhorn's song, He's Everywhere. It'll make you think. Don't watch the beggars. Yeah, I mean, you can tell the people that just want money, and you can tell people that are sharing their lives and sharing their story. And that's why I said I would never monetize, because I think I talk about things that money should not be in the middle of. So that's why I don't monetize. The family blog. Okay, my dad likes to watch this one farming family blog just because it irritates him, because he can tell they're doing it for money, because they'll say they've got beef cattle and they're getting their steers pulled up to go to market, but they're literally a third the size they're supposed to be. He will herd his cattle into the pens, to hold them for the market with a hay spear on his tractor. Ain't nobody in the right mind. Ain't nobody in the right mind gonna do that. He got on a tractor one day and the right front tire fell off halfway through the field. Now, I'm sorry, but that Baron's going to squeak for about 2 months before it falls off. You're going to have plenty of notice, okay? And it's an annoying squeal. The woman, she likes to show her dinner she cook, and my house is not clean at the moment, but it's not dirty, but it's piled where I've been sick. But she had dog hair stuck to her countertop. And she was making dinner. And she was laying her rag. She was wiping her hands on the dog hair on the countertop. And my dad watches that and just goes crazy. And then he looks at me and he goes, I know I'm not near as stupid as the rest of the world thinks I am, because I see people like this on this show. So my dad watches them to feel better about himself. That irritates me to death. I mean, I'm just like, don't. Somebody tell her don't. Somebody go clean her cabinets. Wipe her countertops down. Take a jug of bleach, And she'll have 5 dogs around her feet while she's cooking. And it's just like, I love my animals too, but they go out of the kitchen. Ask Sabrina. She learned how to yell at Oscar to get him out of the kitchen when food was being made. But it's just, I don't know. But my dad watches it because he just laughs, because he's like, I know I'm not that dumb now, because look at that. And I'm like, Dad. But I understand why he watches it. He's like, I do some stupid things sometimes. He goes, I feel much better about myself when I watch these people. And she's like 35 and he's like 67. So I'm thinking there's money involved somewhere there. I don't know, but I'd love to know their story, but I just can't bring myself to watch it. because they are purely doing this for money. Otherwise, they would not put so much shock and awe in their videos. Like, the worst y'all see is my craft curio. I mean, but I mean, it's crazy. I'm like, y'all don't run a farm. You run a YouTube channel. The farm is make believe. But he was going. He was going to send like 300-pound steers to slaughter. You're not going to get but 80 pounds of meat off that. You don't know. They need beef 2 to 3 times that big before you even think about it. And I was just like, my God. The people in the city watch these people and they think that's real country living, and I'm sitting there going, holy Jesus. Now Patera, Appalachian Homestead with Patera, she runs a pretty, down home, low key homestead. Whippoorwill, what is it? The Whippoorwill. Oh, it's Whippoorwill something. She does great old timey cooking and canning, and her house is like mine. There's something in every place, but it's in its place. And then there's the Hillbilly Kitchen. She's wonderful. She just lost her husband a few years ago, bless her heart. She's still going. She's strong as an ox. But there's good people out there doing good things, and sharing their skill sets and helping to educate the world. You just got to find them. But we're so enticed with basically just staring at the car crashes in the world that we can't take 5 minutes to find somebody that inspires us. The biggest issue when I was there, counseling those groups that were in state's custody that had trauma and addiction backgrounds. Some people do live that way, and it's scary as crap. But the biggest issue I had when I was counseling youth that had trauma and addiction backgrounds, I would say find a positive male role model. Do you know how hard that was? We did that session and we stretched it out for 4 weeks, and we studied why they were struggling to find a male role model. And do you know that finally I've lost my words now. Home Free, that t-shirt that I had where they all signed. Tim Faust, I wrote him and his mother, and I said, I have a 90% male juvenile therapy group. And when I asked them to find a role model, that was a male role model, I said the girls could actually find one. Hello. The boys could not. And I said, I'm struggling to find a male role model. I know that Tim Faust is doing pretty good, speaks his mind, is very family oriented. And is there any way that I could get him to maybe write a letter or do something to show these kids that there are people out there that care, so they know there are grown men out there that care and want to be role models? He wrote a letter and sent a signed portrait for that group of kids. And I made them all a copy of the letter. I framed the original and put them in the office. They're still at that office. I left them there. It belonged there. And they were so enamored that somebody took time to write a letter and saying, hey, it's hard to find good role models. I'm a young man myself, and it was hard for me. And let me tell you about what I went through and how I tried to look at people. He wrote this great letter. And they started listening to that music. And they got away from some of that really toxic music. And I was going to say this, the kind that Sabrina signs in. I was going to pick on Sabrina. And they got away from that really toxic music. And it put them in a different mindset. And it kind of took them from here and it eased them down to here. And it wasn't about bravado. It wasn't about, it was a little bit of humor with, talking about your family. And it opened up a whole new avenue to discuss things with them about. Because one person took 5 minutes to write a really nice letter to a group of boys that had a hard time finding a male role model. Because the rules were they can't have sold dope, they can't have been in prison, they can't have had a domestic violence charge. I mean, it had like 6 rules. And that wasn't that bad, 6 rules. But they couldn't find anybody that fell into that category. And even I was having a hard time trying to find somebody that was in their, realm. But, me and Tim Faust don't have the same political viewpoints at all. Let me just say that right now. But I think he's a really nice man. And I think he has a really good heart. And I think he cares enough about other people to do kind gestures. And so whether I agree with him politically or not, that's a good man. And dang, he can sing bass better than anybody I ever seen in my life, especially on Ring of Fire. You ought to go watch Home Free Ring of Fire. Be careful not to put it up too loud because your eardrums will go when he hits that low note. So I'm just warning you. But, I would reach out and ask people like that. And today, I felt really crappy today, especially after my fall. I was like, I'm useless. I can't even walk through my house. And I took 10 minutes and I sent Peter Freestone. I sent him a voice message of just, I'm having a rough day. My world's been thrown into this realm that I thought I was away from when I handed him a badge. And I'm just having a really tough day. And I've dumped on all my close friends and I'm tired of dumping on them. So I'm going to dump on you today. And I was like, I'm just really concerned about where my life is going and why I'm having to make all these different changes when the person that causing problems is not having to make changes about anything. And I thought it'd be a couple of days before he gets back. No, it was 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And that in itself told me I was important enough to him that he took immediate time to message me back. And we check in. We keep in good contact. But where I've been sick, I told him I'm sick. I'm, resting a lot. Don't worry about me. I'll yell when I get feeling better. And then all this happened. That man is so important. He runs the Titanic AIDS program. He goes to different continents and countries and speaks, and he helps raise money for people in very poor places that don't have safety valves that we have in regular, cleaner, civilized places. He raises so much money, does such great things. And he took time to send me, and within 15 minutes took time to send me a message. And I thought everybody that reaches a level of fame or has lived with famous, because he was with Freddie Mercury for the last 12 or 13 years of his life. Not everybody that has been a globetrotter and, lived the high life is a complete tard. There are some really good people out there. Phoebe, I call him Phoebe. This is my Phoebe bird tattoo. It's our friendship tattoo. It says Phoebe on the thing. I had to get his permission before I put his name, and he said yes. But we've been really good friends since 2015, 16, right through there. And but sometimes he's busy, and it takes him a couple of days to get back to me. And I understand that because he's doing important crap. But today, I think he heard in my voice I really needed to pick me up, and just within 15 minutes. And I thought, wow, there are still really great people out there. And I draw a lot of my, ampage, battery, energy from those people. And honestly, if we could figure out what was siphoning that out of most of society, we could figure out how to change the world. And some of us know what's siphoning that out of people. But I mean, if society as a whole could figure it out together, the world will be a completely different place. So I think actually Hope and Tavon did a really great, they just did a really great interview and educational session with that. Was it Sergeant Report? Oh, my brain is fried. They did great. It was so easy to follow. Still ticked out. I was cut out of that. I'm joking. I'm not. They don't need to see my ugly mug. But they did such a great job. And it's just more of us talking to each other and more of us. Sergeant Report. Somebody tell Sergeant Report I was on the couch too. Sabrina, you tell him I was on the couch too. Those were my cult leader curtains. Boy, I looked mean with them black eyes, didn't I? But no, I don't need to be. I've got enough people gunning for me right now. Legit. But they did such a great job because they were so poised, soft-spoken, engaged, receptive to what other people were saying. They did everything perfect. And that's what we've got to do if we want to reach people. We really have to try to meet in the middle. It's like trying to halter a young weanling that's never been touched. You got to get a little bit of trust before you can get a good hold on them. And we've got to work on building trust with ourselves and others, and not creating such drama within the cliques of the belief systems that we're all pointed in the right direction. We all know what's going on. Let's not fuss about who's getting it, more right or more right. We all know what's going on. Let's pat each other on the back and say we're all working to the same goal. Let's just help each other. They did such a great way of articulating that. And I was so impressed with that, because I watched it a couple of times now, and lo and behold, I missed where they had put Sabrina's little interjection. And that was about the time David came home, and I probably was listening to him while I was trying to watch that. So I'd missed that, and I went back and watched it, and I was like, those are my curtains. My curtains are famous again. Yay. Listen, I'm milking the cult leader curtains for as long as I can. But they did such an excellent job. Like poise, personality, articulation, using the big words, but also the explanations behind them. They did such a good job. And it was so easy to watch. And the interview flowed very good. And I thought this is more of what we need, more people talking in this manner, not getting into the heated conversations, and taking people's research and turning it into communicable information. Because there are some people that are great at research, and there are other people that are great at communicating. And then there are other people that are great at turning that research into communication for other people to tell. And we all have a place. We just got to find what you shine at, what you do best. Some of you, like Savannah, has a great channel, and she does true crime, and she points out the crimes that are not getting the news media airtime they should. Ashley's a goat person. We can figure something out with the goats. But Gypsy is one of the kindest and most soft-spoken souls I've ever met. If we could get her voice, it would pull people in, because she's so soft-spoken. It kind of sucks you in, because it's very soothing. It's like sitting on the porch at night and listening to the crickets and the whippoorwills. It's very soothing. But we have to all believe we have a strength and want to try to use it, instead of pick everybody else apart. And I can pick people apart. I'm good at it too. Any given day, it's me. I'm the problem. But I try to be, less of a problem most days, than more. Oh, Gypsy's still here. See, she heard me. See? Yes. There are other ways to get, poetry, the written word, emotions on paper. If you have that talent, put it to use right now, because you see how invested in music people are. Like Tom McDonald right now is hitting home runs because he's talking about real issues. And I don't think he's doing it all for money, because he's really irritated about certain things. And I'm like, yay, I'm glad to see irritation. But that written word communicates more, because it comes in a more easily digested form. Then it's more easily digested because it's a song. Those skills, all those skills. Find something you're good at and do it. Ryan Zane is a goat person. We need to get them and Ashley together. Ashley is just goat crazy. Me and Ashley have actually got a Temu haul swap in the mix. We're just waiting on things to arrive. That's why I told her, don't worry. Even if it comes here, I will get it. I will make sure I get it. And but I'll probably be doing the swap where I end up at. So, but we've all got strengths. We need to stop focusing on our weaknesses and focus on our strengths. Because this morning this afternoon, probably about 2, I was whining to Sabrina over voice message. Just a whining. And she'll snap you right to in 5 seconds. So, and that's normally why I whine to her, because she'll basically tell me why I don't need to whine. But it's very true that we all have gifts, and how many of us really use them. My gift is normally taking really smart jibber jabber and dumbing it down so we can all understand it. I've got a shirt coming that says everything is figure outable, and it's all one word, figure outable. And that's kind of where I shine. Everything, we can figure everything out. Now, I might get overwhelmed sometimes and get really irritated. but I normally will pull my eyebrows back down and go back to work. But you know, we all have off days, and I've had enough for the whole year. I think my quota is filled. I think the rest of the year should be good. But let's start finding out what our strengths are. So Gypsy is a wonderful artist and is very soft spoken. She could paint something that could like show an emotion or show a landscape or an idea of perfection for the world, and somebody could put a poem or a song to it, and we could turn that into something to share with people, to make people think in a different way, to think about the world in a different way, instead of seeing the turmoil and the struggles and the city and the pollution, to remember what winter wheat looks like swaying in the cold snow as it blows, and you know, all those things. It's a lot of it is about what we create in here, because what we create out here is what we create in here. And if we start to create better things, then it'll get better in here. Mental illness seeps in, it doesn't seep out. Somebody yeah, you know what I'm saying? Cross stitch that on a pillow. I don't even remember what I just said. Mental illness seeps in, it doesn't seep out. Cross stitch that sucker on a pillow. That's a good one, because it doesn't start in here. Not unless you've got like damage to your brain. Normally, the issues we're struggling with now seep in from society. Your authenticity is your anger, honey. It's your brilliance and your anger. Because when a person gets mad, truth comes out. And so when we see that little divot in your forehead, we know we're getting absolute truth. So that's your authenticity. Your brilliance and your anger. Because when you put it together, we know it's truth coming, because when you're angry and you open your mouth and you speak that fast, ain't no way you can lie. Like, I watch your body. There's no deception noted. I watch your body and I see that little hurt you get right there. And when you do your little faces, your body sings when you talk. There's no deception. And so we know, and everybody else that watches, you know, that's truth. Now, sometimes it takes us 3 days to figure out what the truth was, because we're stupid. But we get it. We get there eventually. But that's your authenticity. So, but I can watch people and tell if they're telling the truth or not. I watch some channels and I go, oh look, YouTube's lagging mad at me. Suck it, YouTube. But that's your authenticity, and we all need to find it. So let's work on that. Let's say let's meet back Friday night. I should be settled Friday night. Let's say we meet back Friday night, and let's everybody think of something that we have that we're authentically us, that we shine at, that we can do. And I don't care if it's, you know, just reading fluently. We need narrators for certain things. That's a skill. Okay. I don't care if you think, you know, what you think you're good at is stupid. It's not, because it's going to be something that somebody else sucks at. So just think about something that you do better than most people, or that you inherently feel you possess a passion to perform. And let's meet back Friday night and let's all talk about it. Oh, Hope and Devon are champs in my book. I am in awe of them. Yeah, she's really good at paraphrasing large data. I'm really good at trying to link up the psych crap with the data crap so that people can understand the brain function of what's going on. You know, because you give a lot of information, but people don't always know what's going on in here. And so I try to break it down and tell them what's going on, like the auditory left and right sides and how it affects people. You know, those are just little tidbits of information that are just small things I learned, but they make big impacts when people hear them, because some people go, holy crap. Now I understand why when my father had a stroke and couldn't have, you know, didn't hear out of the left side, couldn't use the left side of his body, why, you know, we had issues with emotions and empathy and anger. And yeah, it makes sense now, doesn't it? just little tidbits. And Lord, I've got 6 years of college crammed in here. I've tried to delete the files. It won't let me. So I might as well share them with y'all. And they don't always come to me when I want to tell you stuff, but sometimes the weirdest times, something to click up and I'll just, and it helps somebody that day. So that's kind of where I think I'm supposed to work. Well, yeah, and the psych terms are actually, they're merging into your world as well, because they're becoming the same thing, sadly, and we all know that. That was my holy crap face. You know, she was here one day, and I mean for 7 hours straight was doing research. And I do research, but my body can't hang on that long. But now one night for like 4 hours, I read cattle genetic modification and genealogy, where they had kept the genealogy maps of the cattle herds, because I was trying to help her figure out something that I could understand from a cattle component. When me and Sabrina get together, we go on weird tangents and look at weird things. Yeah, we're all blessed to have her. Blessed to have her. And it's really important that we try to keep sending people to her channel, try to keep talking about what she talks about, try to keep getting these ideas, ouch, my leg, trying to keep getting these ideas more accessible so that they're more easily digested by a society that is very isolated, paranoid, and suffocated by manipulation from high powers. I had to search for words there so I wouldn't get zipped. So, but we really do need to be working on sharing her work. And y'all, if you hear something in our lessons that makes your mind have a question, go research it. Go research it. Get a definition of each word and then string the definitions together, and then you found out the whole sentence. It really is that easy. Take it one word at a time. Yeah, easily digested, because a lot of people have been snookered. Snookered. They've been snookered, and they're happy being snookered. And they're belligerent when you try to tell them they're snookered. So you kind of have to let them learn it at their own pace. And sometimes it's just repetition. And finally, one day it breaks through. It's just like rehab. Sometimes it takes up to 17 times to get somebody successfully through rehab. The average is 7. So imagine how many times we have to speak to people before they digest information they don't want to believe. Probably about the same. Because it hits the same part of the brain. Yeah, I taught you something else tonight. Hey, whoop, whoop. Yeah, sometimes they have to walk away and come back. Yeah, because they have to grow. They have to grow into it. They have to grow and open up and open up to it. It is. Well, it used to be that everybody wanted to be unique, and now unique is all we are. So when we're all unique, we're all the same. So nobody's unique. And I'm like, that was a full 360. That wasn't even a 180. That was a full 360. And nobody can understand that. And I'm like, well, if I buy one spotted horse and everybody likes my spotted horse, so the other 7 people that have white horses in my field decide to buy spotted horses, then a spotted horse is no longer a unique thing. And they go, well, no, I guess they'd look at the field, they'd all look the same. That's society now. Y'all are spotted horses. Somebody buy a daggum dapple gray or an Appaloosa or a clayback dun or a buckskin or one of those what is it, cremellos? Those are pretty. Or one of those Tobianos or Overos or there's a really pretty one. What is its name? Well, Pat wanted to tell you I could. Sabinos. Oh God, they're pretty. But I mean, there's so many options, and people get stuck on 1 or 2 things. And then uniqueness goes, because then everybody thinks they're the unicorn. I'm not a unicorn. I'm a rhino. You know, the Appaloosas are notoriously cold-backed, and they're to be the first ones to dump you, and they're notoriously buddy sour. But if you can bond with them and keep them long enough, they'll be the best little buddies that your kids will ever have. But from the age of about 3 to about 7, you're going to be in for some surprises. They're smarter than they look. I had a beautiful buckskin one time. David bought her for me. She was one of the last horses he bought for me. She was beautiful. She's dumb as a box of rocks. And I said, I really appreciate you buying her for me, but I can't use her. I said, next time you want to buy me a horse, take me with you. She was dumb. I said, I can't use her. I said, bless her heart, she forgets she has feet half the time. And I gave her to a trail riding facility because she was real sweet. She was just stupid. But she would follow the tail in front of her, so I gave her to a trail ride facility, and they trained her for like 2 years. And she was like a kid's horse after that. She was like a kid's trail horse. But she was just too dumb for me. I like those horses that almost get in trouble, but then you side eye them and they go, I wasn't doing nothing. Those are my horses. Oh, yes, you did. And you had on your little unicorn headband the other day. Which now I need to get one. I looked at David as soon as I saw that. He goes, don't even. I said, now I've got to get one. So when I get settled, I may have to find me one of those. I may go with Mom on one of her rampages to Hobby Lobby and take my rolly cart and go see if I can find me one. Headgear for the win. Oh, Lord. Hey, sometimes you just got to laugh. When all else fails, giggle. At this point, I'm laughing at everything because my whole world has went in the crapper legit in 3 weeks because of one person. But if one person can ruin your life, one person can also probably make it better. So thank you all for joining me this evening. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let Oscar go outside. I'm going to hang my stinky flowers outside to air out. I'm going to get me some yogurt, and I'm going to lay down. But thank you all for, I think I just needed this more than Jens did because I do okay with change, but I'm mad that I have to change right now. But I'll get through it. My ears will be laid back all week, but I'll get through it. And there's a lesson in here somewhere, and maybe, maybe this is happening to me so that God can zing her and bring her around. I don't know. But I keep trying to say there's going to be a positive come out of it. It's really hard to think about it right now. It's really hard to think anything positive is happening right now. But I don't have all the puzzle pieces yet, so I'll report back as I get them. Thank y'all. You rest too. You go rest too. You've been on the internet all day working your butt off. You go rest. I love you guys. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around. Think of your authenticity, what you bring to the table. I will be back on Friday night. Promise. And we'll talk about it. Wherever I am, we'll talk about it. And we'll work on it. So your focus is you this week. Isn't that nice? Nobody ever tells you to do that anymore. Your focus is you this week. What do you bring to the table? What do you shine at? I want to hear about it Friday. We're going to have, and I'll try to do StreamYard so I can pull up specific comments and talk about them. So your homework has been dished out. My mother's a teacher. It just comes naturally. I'm sorry. Why'd you like? Thank you. Yes. I will remind you, Gypsy. I will be talking to you. You'll be hearing from me. Oscar's drinking. Boy, he's nosy. Okay, y'all have a good night. And we'll do this again Friday. Focus on yourself. Everybody gets their last words in. Y'all take care of you too. I'm good. I'm wrapping my head around this. I'll get situated. I'm going to be comfortable where I'm at. I'll be safe. I'll be comfortable. I just don't necessarily like being separated and the reasons why. But we'll get through this one way or the other. So I will see you all Friday. I love you guys too. Y'all bring me so much joy and happiness. You have no idea. Thank you so much for being here. Y'all are family to me. So I love each and every one of you. And I'll see y'all Friday. Bye, guys. Oscar's on cue. He's like, now it's time to go potty. You need to go, Papa.